rather than fiber optics here.
Okay, yeah, but see, like Streep, I was going to say, I have no idea what the introduced the 460
lasers
socket. I don't know what the 16T DR4 OSFP is or anything along those lines. That's way past my my tax bracket.
Fair enough. Let's go on to Boeing. Interesting take today from Boeing. What are they doing on the day? Down 1.5% because they warned that their margins are going to take a near-term hit following their acquisition of Spirit Aerosystems. The commercial division operating margins expected to drop down to -7.5%, down to about 8%. Higher than expected costs are tied to integrating Spirit and driving that downside surprise. We're going to end here, sadly, because it is
USO is tanking.
USO is tanking.
Yeah, it's picking up momentum and volume to the downside there. So USO's taking a little bit of a slide here, guys.
All right, and RCAT just got into the high of the day for anybody who's interested. We're going to send you over the big kahunas, Neil and Sean. They're taking over 15 minutes early because we have the FOMC rate decision at 2, and then at 2:30, Chair Powell gets on the mic, and that's when the wild card becomes. Hope everybody has a great day. We'll see everybody tomorrow.
All right.
Welcome, everybody. I mean, I see what's going on with USO as well.
What's up with that?
Like the last headline was literally Iran's Arghachi spoke with EU's foreign minister's chief. Yeah, I don't think that should be a reason why we're dropping a couple of bucks here. But remember, okay, look, we get the Fed in 13 minutes. We know what we're going to hear at this point. It was 99% chance of no cut like last week. So, you know, you get this close. There's not that many things that are sure things in life. You know, the love of your kids obviously is one of those things that you can count on. Death and taxes you can count on for sure. In this particular case, I think we're not getting a cut. I think that's as close to as a lock as it's going to get. But keep in mind, there's a decent chance. I'm not saying it'll be true. There's a decent chance that all of this could move more based on what's going on in Iran or headlines there, like the move in oil that's dictating, I guess, the market bounce that we're seeing. And right now, this drop in USO. So that right now is dictating a lot of things. If you look at what's happening with the Qs going into this, that was that little spike up that we just had. Nothing too crazy, but it was on these oil futures headed downside. I got eyeballs on IBIT and Bitcoin because I think a fade into VWAP. Here, we're probably going to get the same like rubber band action that we usually do after 2 because we know what we're getting, and then we'll see what Jerome says at 2:30. We'll get the dot plot, and we'll get a sense of what their feelings are. They have to react to that number that we got this morning, potentially. I'm sure there'll be questions about that PPI.
Yeah, I don't think they have too many numbers early, but we'll wait. And like we said, Adair will be here live, so join us in 12 minutes. We are going to get the Fed interest rate decision of no cut, but then it will be all about the discussion afterwards. I'm short Tesla right now, just off this. We were trying to go short into here as well, but we got stopped out once it broke through. Then we waited for the 200 period and was able to make a little bit back here on Tesla. We were able to go long a couple times as well. And we'll talk about all this. We'll break down trades as we go. But right now, it's all going to be about the Fed. And we just had oil. We're going to throw to Adair in 2 seconds. We just had oil making a little bit of a move as well to the downside. So we'll see what that's all about. What's up, Adair?
Yeah, I haven't seen anything in that oil move yet, but I am, of course, keeping my eye out. I did want, with like 11 minutes now until that Fed decision, I wanted to remind everybody what we are expecting. So we are expecting like 99% chance, as Neil said, of no rate change. But this is also going to be the summary of economic projections as well, or that dot plot. So looks like last time around, 1 year rate expectation 3.4%, 2 year 3.1%, 3.6% for the current term, and then longer term about 3%. So again, we're going to get that dot plot, the slash SEP, as well as that rate statement. Now, again, as we mentioned a couple times now, like 99% chance here that we're not going to get a cut. In April, we're seeing 97% chance of rates being held. June, 82.5%. July, 70%. September, 58%. 53% for October. December, if I can click there. Oh, hello. December is... Actually, at this point, we're also not really seeing a cut in December either. So at this point, as of right now, and it's narrow for December, it's 41% to 40%. But like, so 41% thinking no change, and then 40% thinking we could get a 25 basis point cut. The moral of the story is, even as President Trump continues to ramp his calls for a Fed rate cut, there is very little chance of that being priced in by the market currently. So I think it'll be interesting to see if the SEP and dot plot changes anything, because as Neil said, we are expecting the rates to be held. That's not going to be what's surprising. What'll be surprising is what the expectation is.
Yeah, that sets. I mean, it sets things up potentially bearish. Like everything that you sort of would have heard there would seemingly be a bit bearish for the market. But overall, I see some in the chat saying, one says Powell JL80 8282 says Powell is a patron saint to bears. And then we have the next comment, literally Powell going to cut to rock the market, and then laughing. No, if you got some, like, let's be real, we're not going to get a cut. But if there was like that kind of a surprise, you just see this gap in the futures. To the upside. We're not expecting anything along those lines. I think the bigger moves are going to happen after 2:30, barring something crazy happening in energy markets or any headlines coming through in that regard. I think that caveat has to be thrown out there. So I want to be looking at IBIT. Well, there's also some other names that we'll be watching. I want to look at SoFi in that 17.5 again because it's actually getting back into that level. But I'm looking IBIT at VWAP if it can pop into there. SoFi at 17.5. Well, it finally was a short at 17.5, and it only went to 17.30, but that could come right back up into this level. Ideally, after 2 o'clock is when I'd want to be playing this one, allow the number to come in. I am in that TPET. That's that, it's one of those oil small cappers with that move down in USO. It's basically been hovering under some resistance. I doubt this moves based on the Fed. Like, it broke down into a buck. I reloaded it. It hasn't really done much since. I suspect it wouldn't move on the Fed. If USO spikes, however, this would go against me. But let's be real. I'm looking at IBIT and SoFi. Those are the two names I'll be on, looking to fade the initial move. Market's sliding slowly to the upside, but pretty quiet, which I think, outside of this move in oil, was a little bit expected here. I don't think anybody really expected fireworks.
We're going to, I think the right thing to do would be closing most of your positions. I'm going to close NVIDIA right here at 182.80. It's a good, I mean, we're $1.50 in the money here. And then I'm just waiting to see what Tesla does, man. Like I said, we were short on here. I have less than, about half of this trade left. And as we get closer and closer, I'll just bid right there. I bid 45s and get filled. I'm bidding at 20. We're going to get out. We don't want to be necessarily in this as the Fed announcement is made. And all this talk about, I hope Powell does this, and it's nothing that he can do about it. This is a voting mechanism. He has one vote. So hopefully, they've agreed and there will be no cut. And that's what we're seeing right now on the Fed rate watch tool. So let's go back over to Adair with 7 minutes to go.
I have a couple oil headlines, Sean, and everyone ahead of this Fed decision. So I am seeing reports that the Trump administration is expected to lift summer gasoline regulations to curb energy prices. Now, Vice President J.D. Vance said earlier today that we should be expecting some kind of gas price decrease announcement in the next 24 to 48 hours. So that could be related, but either way, this headline on watch. Now, furthermore, Axios reporting that apparently some certain aides in the White House and to President Trump are seeing that there's a divide in the Iran endgame plans between the U.S. and Israel, saying that, quote, Israel doesn't hate the chaos. So basically this idea that the U.S. and Israel are not necessarily aligned in terms of when they want this conflict to end. So that interesting look as well here for USO. Back to you.
Yeah, okay. Recap where things are at. It's not a huge difference, but it's at least worth noting. Like, you have the Russell here. Typically, when we have a rate decision, you know that small cap names are going to be a little bit more sensitive to rate changes. That said, right now, you look at the IWM. Oops, I want to show you over here. Like, everything's in a bear flag or at least downward trending, but this is holding uptrend above VWAP. So it is relatively strong if we want to compare it to the SPY and the Nasdaq, which are, very distinctly downward trending and downward sloping the entirety of the day. So there is a little bit of extra strength in the IWM. I would suspect if we do get a pretty anti-cut tone or the dot plot moves in the wrong direction, assuming that you want cuts, that change might, or that differentiation might actually correct itself between the IWM and the SPY here. So worth keeping an eye on that. Obviously, if you like Bitcoin, I think that'll probably move with the market, which is what I'm going to be looking at. But IWM worth watching. We haven't really taken too much of a look at the metals. I suspect that could be a place you would want to play as well. They were moving distinctly with markets. It was all morning long, it was like a no flight to safety kind of deal as everything was falling. That shifted a little bit because you can see gold above VWAP and kind of in an upward trend since the open. So that is also very different from what we're seeing in the SPY and the Nasdaq. A little bit of strength there in gold. Not a good day overall. Don't get it twisted, but doing better than the overall market.
Yeah, no, seems like a very violent day out there for the gold and silver markets as well. And those are going to move for sure. So I just saw someone in the chat ask me about like why exiting positions or whatever heading into Fed. It's just because it's just a random event, right? I mean, whether or not, I think it's going to come, it's not that random this time because we're going to get what is expected. But, you know, to sit here into a trade and just watch it, you're going to see as soon as it comes out, it's going to whip up and down. So, you know, stop orders get hit, bids get filled. It's just like, it's put the odds in your favor. And right now, we're kind of just sitting around waiting to hear what the story is going to be. So it's not necessarily a great thing to be sitting in. And then, because when you get stopped out, it could just run your stop and then it comes right back in. So we're just going to wait for it, see what winds up happening. Right now, we'll probably get out of our NVIDIA pretty soon at the high end, and then we'll just wait. I mean, heading into this number right now, you've got, Neil just showed you Bitcoin. We can go over the DXY right now to see what the dollar is doing. This is always something that's pretty interesting to have a look at. 1 day, 1 minute. We can have a quick little look and just zoom back out a little bit here to see what the dollar is getting ready to do. If it comes as expected, probably no movement there, but remember, it's the dot plot. We're looking forward to the dot plot, and what that is every member is going to put out where they think the rates are going, and then that will give us a better idea of if there is that 2 rate cut. Most likely, that's what we're looking for this year, is the double rate cut. So if we wind up getting that, then you know, the market will probably act positively, I would think, and send the dollar a little lower there, as you know, more certainty will happen for the market. So let's just wait and see what winds up happening with that number. I think gold's going to be a good one. Bitcoin, you already hit that, and then I don't know. We'll just wait. I mean, the TQQs, I was looking to short those as well, but you know, just because we're underneath VWAP, you know, we've hit VWAP there, we hit it again, and now we're kind of just hanging. So yeah, just all ears, man. 2 more minutes. So the announcement's going to come. It's going to say no cut. So, you know, rates steady, and then it'll be a prepared statement by Fed Powell, and then at Fed Chair, and then at 2:30, he'll hit the podium again, and the questions will start flowing.
Well, for the last time. That's the other thing.
I think this is it the last time or second last?
Oh, he does get one more?
Yeah,
fine.
he gets one more.
Fair enough.
It's one more chance there. So, yeah, I mean, if it's a cut, then this market will rally like crazy. If that comes out.
It would just gap. It would be like
I don't think you'd be able to get anything on it.
Yeah, like if you have stop orders already out there,
my stops will be
you'll get your fills. But if there was a surprise in either direction, you wouldn't be able to catch any fills. Yeah,
it's not going to be a raise.
No, it's not going to be a raise. But
that would the market would be down.
I don't even want to. I don't want to think about it.
1,000 Nasdaq points.
Flash crash.
Dow Jones will be down 2,000 points.
Flash crash. Because the problem is, if it's unexpected and in the direction of the less likely, then it would get like chaos because there would be nobody making a market on it. USO just made another fresh low, so oil continues to be weak. Let's go to Adair. 1 minute till we get no change.
1 minute and 15 seconds exactly, Neil. Now, I'd like to get here a little early with you guys so I can remind you all of what we are expecting. Again, this rate is not expected to change. 3.75% forecast, 3.75% previous. Now, again, median rate forecast for current, we're expecting 3.375% compared to 3.625% previous. And as Sean said, in terms of how things are going to go forward here, compared like 2 versus 2:30. So at 2 p.m., you get a general statement from the Fed, and you'll actually get to see what changed from the last statement as well. So how do they feel about jobs? How do they feel about inflation? Which members dissented or didn't dissent? Because we know we've had tons of dissenting votes as of late. Then we get Powell's prepared remarks at 2:30, and then it'll do the Q&A. So we're not getting anything prepared from Fed Chair Powell himself, just the Fed body, until 2:30 p.m., just to clarify that. So again, 20 seconds now until we get that rate decision. This will also be, and this is why people are saying it's the last Fed meeting, it's Powell's last summary of economic projections. So he does have one more Fed meeting after this, so that's just a point of clarification there. Now only 10 seconds to go until the FOMC decision. Guys, again, forecast for this FOMC decision, 3.75%. Prior rate, 3.75%. We are not expecting a rate change. No change. So again, as expected, no rate change here at the FOMC. Longer interest rate projection here, that's going to be 3.1% versus 3% prior. Current rate projection, 3.4% versus 3.6% prior. 2 years out, rate projection remains in line, 3.1%. 1 year, a little bit lower now, 3.1% versus 3.4% previous. Here is, we'll take a look here at the market that is still USO. Market pushing a little bit higher on this. Here's the S&P 500. That was just the Nasdaq S&P 500 also pushing higher in this. Let's take a look at the US dollar, which is dropping. So as Sean mentioned, there is a likelihood if you get a positive market reaction, you might get a negative reaction in the USD. That is, in fact, what's happening here on this US dollar as the market does react. In fact, no change as expected, no rate cut. I'm going to wait to get the statement, and then I'll come back once I have more details. Back to you.
Yeah, so the first thing that happened is, I mean, the market with a little bit of a bounce here, but like not even into VWAP. So this is a SPY. You're barely moving. What's interesting is you're still actually seeing the bigger move here is USO just took another leg to the downside as it continues to flush. So that ends up being probably something that draws the market and the Nasdaq up as well. So I don't know how much you can even attribute this move to the upside in the futures to the no change. It almost feels as if this is still just reacting to the price of oil as we speak. And of course, the dollar's gonna move around as well, but big flush happening over here in USO. IBIT did pop into VWAP, close, but actually did not get there. Close. So we'll let this one settle down. It's not a big of enough move to even think about the whole like rubber band action or anything because we haven't moved that far. So this might be a situation where it's more about Powell at 2:30 or the next headline that comes out of Iran as well. But yeah, there are stocks making some power moves. I saw in the chat people are saying SNDK another fresh all-time high. What else?
Wow.
What else is new, man? We'll get Micron after the bell today. Just a reminder, if you happen to be trading in SNDK or Micron, remember, Micron reports after the bell. I think at like 4:05.
Ooh-wee. Yeah, Micron rate immediately.
Or
after.
is it right away? Okay.
Well, yeah, whatever. Either way, you're going to get a Micron report coming out soon. So, yeah, man, I wish I would have. Well, the dollar didn't move that much, but we did mention that it was going to move down. So thanks to Adair for that shout out there. Not much happening at all right now in the market. So we basically got our Tesla came out, but you know, as right where we got in, so we're okay with that. Although it is coming back down a little bit right now. And then we got our NVIDIA trade out at that level as well, just to get flat. So we were basically flat into it. We still held some Tesla, but as soon as it came out, it ripped up there. So we got stopped out right where we were, but still. Excuse me, still took some profits there. I'm going to start a new position right here. I'm just going to go short on the futures now. I did misspoke there, and Adair was right. The Fed that's already out. So at 2 p.m. they released a statement. So they'll parse through that, and you know, any sort of a change in wording, Adair will find that for us. So we've already sort of talked a little bit about some of that. Defense policymakers see 4.4% unemployment rate. That was what they thought before. So if we start getting some headlines, I mean, Neil and I will start to maybe throw them up there at the bottom if we see anything that's as of interest. But for right now, not much, man. I'm not even seeing too many notes. I'm going to go short, which I am right now on the TQs. Just like always, man, I'll put a bid for about 10% at 42s just to make that one. There it is. If we get it, there we go. We make 10 cents on that. And now we'll wait to see if we do get a continuation down to the downside. So all I'm really seeing here is everything pretty much as expected. Like Adair will run through some of the more important points of this release right now.
Thank you. Yeah, Sean, I just want to talk about some of the statements that were changed because there actually wasn't that much. I mean, most of the changing was just who voted because, again, we know that we've had like a change here in these voting members. Now, it is worth noting that we actually had, in terms of these votes, we actually had Fed's Micron, the only dissenting Fed. Looks like they're talking here about some signs of stabilization. They did mention, though, and I think this is pretty key, one thing they were concerned about here was the fact that they don't know what these outcome is going to be here with regards to the situation in Iran. They said the uncertainty over the economic outlook does remain elevated. That's some things that have been said here. Now, it is also worth noting in terms of the dot plot, kind of an interesting look. I'm going to pull this up so you guys can see. This dot plot says that at least one, or just let's say one Fed member may be seeing almost 4% for this rate here in 2027, 2028, and even in the longer run. The most bullish, or sorry, the most dovish look here is between 2.5% and 2% as of 2027. So again, on average, you're seeing one rate cut in 2026, one rate cut in 2027, based on the dot plot of the summary of economic projections.
Yeah, and market going lower then.
And 7 officials see no cut in 2026. That's not bullish.
I can't believe the market's. I really can't believe the market's not tanking. honestly, on this news. I think that that's all that we waited for was that dot plot. I'm saying that I'm short, like, so it's like, okay, obviously I want it to happen, but I just thought that we were looking at just a couple days ago those rate cuts as being 2, maybe even 3, and now it's looking like 1. So yeah, not a great look there. I think.
What, with half of them saying none?
That's like, so I don't know, man. I mean, I'm going to sit here and, you know, slowly start to piece this out a little bit here, but I am surprised. I thought we would be going lower on some kind of news like that. So here's a note. We'll send this over to you right here. This is what we were just talking about right now. There you go. Median see 2 cuts in 26 to 27, so that's up to 27. 3.4% unchanged. 7 officials see no cut, so that's to your point there as well. So okay, here we go. We're making a little bit of a move down. So yeah, we'll be happy on that one, and we'll wait to see what happens now moving forward. We're short the market right now. For me, it makes sense. If somebody says something, or once Powell comes on, we still have 24 minutes, then that will, you know, potentially affect this Nasdaq trade. So I'm just going to just piece it out, take a win where it lies for now, just remain short and see if we can break lower here on the TQQs. My stop, just in case you guys know, 66. Shout out to Mario.
Here about the summary of economic projections, specifically in terms of some of these inflation metrics. So in the December projection here for 2026, PCE was 2.4. They're now seeing 2.7%. So again, the PCE inflation expectation for this year has gone up compared to the situation we saw in December. Now, core PCE inflation also higher than what we were seeing in December of 2025. So at that point, the Feds were seeing 2.5% as the median PCE inflation for 2026. Now that's gone up to 2.7%. That is worth noting. The longer run expectations are more or less in line compared to what was being projected in December. Back to you.
Yeah, the other thing to keep in mind is like oil's still heading down. So that like there is that which could be, you know, like it could be a factor as well. Like oil's been in this downward trend for the last hour or so. Maybe it's only like 30 minutes. And with that happening, that can give a little bit of strength to the market. We've seen that counterbalance in both ways. I saw in the chat someone say the Intel is stronger than, stronger than the market. Intel just broke high of the day. All right, so
Bam.
You can see that one coming, 3% to the upside there. What's Micron doing? Just want to peruse some names that I know will get thrown in the chat. Micron's bouncing above the volume-weighted average price. I'm getting out if VWAP is broken on IBIT. I think that keeps it relatively simple. So we short it into VWAP, and we'll just look to play inside the range for the next 20 minutes until Powell comes to the podium. But there is some strength. A couple of chip names looking pretty strong there. Adair, what else do you have for us?
I have a name that's looking weak, Neil, and it's actually stock-specific catalyst. That is ADBE, Adobe, to the downside. Google announcing, I guess, a vibe design, quote-unquote, feature here with Stitch. So looks like Google has a competing product, ADBE, which reported earnings last week, not responding well to this news, everybody.
Yeah, not good. As bad as that chart Adobe is, hey, it's much more fun when the things go up that you can point at. Fastly, unbelievable day today for Fastly, 13% to the upside. So if you are looking for some strength, they're on one. As I said, Micron was breaking out a little bit. SNDK, I know you guys pointed out as well. AMD going to show some strength. Usually that means NVIDIA as well. Looks like maybe the memory names are a little bit stronger than even NVIDIA. All-time highs on SNDK. That's intense. I wonder if SoFi is getting a bit of a bounce here. No, it can't get past 17.5. The only reason that matters is basically this is where it fell apart on the what do they call it? Muddy Waters, the short report. Muddy Waters like 1750, and then this morning it held a support. If it can't break that, we're past 2 o'clock, so it hasn't done anything with that level. I might enter back into this one. It was a scalp trade before. It kind of gives you an easy out, like a couple of pennies above. But this feels like a continuation style trade. I like SoFi. I still own it in the long-term account. It's just the whole idea was if it could recover above 17.5, I'd like it a little bit better for the long trade. Doesn't seem like that's the case.
Here's Figma on the same story. Downside right there. So yeah, downside down 9%. Right now for Figma, so this is getting hit on that. It's funny about Adobe.
Great IPO that was, eh?
Yeah, exactly. I know. Well, if you see the chart on the IPO, we can go back to that in a minute. Sure. But yeah, so Adobe only down 3%, Figma down 8%, and I mean, you know, we showed you that IGV chart, the software ETF, and I mean, you know, Adobe had a real nice battle back, man, from 250 to the lows, all the way to 280, but then smashed off of the 50-period moving average right back down to lows again. So this is looking like, again, another bottom break-ish situation at 245. So what's Adobe at right now? I mean, we might be able to get into that 245 situation today. Okay, well, maybe we shouldn't have just discussed it, because here we go, man. Here comes 245 right now. Is that the low there? Yeah, I mean, we were here right. Yeah, this is it, I guess. This is yesterday. So that's 245, or a couple days ago. That's 245 right there. 244, I guess the official low, 244. 50s, 244.48s or so down there. Double check it on your charts. But if you are trying to play a downside push here in Adobe, that's the low break. And I can actually, right here on our chart for 244.28. 244.28 is the E-signal 52-week low. You guys can probably confirm that on any of your platforms as well. All right, man, here we go. We've got it. That was a good idea. It's only a good idea if we can take some profits. Let's bid a bid now. Okay, well, there it is. We just bid some 33s. So we talked about this little play here on the TQs. So shorted it against VWAP, kind of just played it like normal. We had seen VWAP there. We had seen VWAP there. I was okay taking this because I really did think that there was going to be no cut. I mean, I just trust the numbers there, and you know the odds were forever on our side this time around. And so I just kind of played it off VWAP there, right? We took it early, then it spiked right there at 2 o'clock, or 203, I guess. Got that little level, and then now it's downside. We did wait for the 50-period moving average, so that's a chicken dinner winner. So we'll put that in our pipe and smoke it a little bit there. And now we'll wait to see if we get a little lower there. I'm sitting at 47.20s, and then I'm sitting at 47 flats. See if, well, 47.05. See if we get down here as well. So nice little retracement back to the 50-period moving average. With nothing happening, like I'm out now of about 30%, thinking about getting out a little bit more here just ahead of Jerome, but or I mean, you know what? Let me put out 5% more right now at 31. Maybe we get it, maybe we don't. But that's what we're going to wait for now. Wait for 31. We already got a 32. If it feels us good, then we're bidding 20s, and we get a little bit lower. So as you guys saw, and you know, thank you for watching, and you know, hit the like, hit the subscribe. You know, no real news happening right now, other than that.
Outside of Figma, yeah.
Yeah, other than that Fed. I mean, here is. Sort of the most recent news. I mean, Adair sort of already brought this to us there, the dot plot, right? So it sees 2 cuts in 26, 27. It's the second line there that you need to read. The 7 officials, this is my opinion, I mean, we're holding short. 7 officials say no cut in 2026. And what is there, 13 voting members, Adair, is that right?
12 voting members.
It's 12, so it could be 6-6, and then what happens then? Right. So,
well, actually,
strange to see an odd number.
Go back to that GDP target raised to 2.4. So the outlook on the on the economy is a little bit better.
That's better.
So you could look to that as a
long
maybe a reason why we're not that
up to 3.1 versus 3. Oh, hotter. That's inflation. Okay. We're seeing
the inflation is hotter now that they're seeing here, like PCE and core PCE compared to December. That's, I think, like the worst thing. But then even if you go like to the forward rate, like if you go to like, you know, the longer term, like 2028 and beyond, their expectations aren't changing. So it's still kind of mixed.
Yes, to infinity and beyond. No, look, it does feel like we did not get anything that looks remotely bullish. Again, I tend to think that the only reason that we're even holding up, and I'm going to try and reload IBIT in here, is this move in oil. Like, as long as there's this downward pressure on oil, it's hard for us to fall all over ourselves if we're being real about it, and we haven't broken this downtrend in USO. So if that's what you're watching, what's weird is how long some of these other small caps have taken to go. We just saw a headline here. What is one word Jerome Powell will not say? This is something
fun. I thought I would ask you, because it's just something fun I just saw there.
Will not say? I thought we could go. That's a tougher one than what will he say.
You guys put in the chat there.
What will he not say?
But related to the economy, I mean, he's not going to say Blue Jays, you know, for example.
Yeah, like what's something?
I think he's not gonna say the word transitory.
One thing I think he will say is, I don't talk politics. That's something I for sure he will say, but that's not what he will not say.
Well, I want to say something about the, because he won't comment on this thing about the renovation. So I don't know, is the word renovation
Yes,
or is there something else?
But
Yes.
he might say it in response to a question. That's why I can't say he won't say it. Like, same with people saying he won't say Trump. He could say Trump in response to a question about President Trump.
I don't think
but
he'll
I don't
say
think
renovation.
he's not going to comment. He's not going to comment on it, but he can still say, I'm not going to talk about that, right? And say the word, which is why this is tough.
I don't know any other way to say it. I'm going to go with I'm going to go with that. I'll say renovation will not get said because I think he'd avoid that word altogether. But we'll see. Again, who knows? You can go on to Kalshi and you can bet some of those things.
That's why I think maybe that's where it came from.
But last time,
Here we go, market.
yeah, it didn't even matter. The shorts are working here as far as I'm concerned, so it doesn't really make a difference what he does or doesn't say. As Fed votes to hold rates steady and uncertain impacts from the war, I think that's not going to surprise anybody.
Something must have just happened.
Well,
I don't
whatever
know,
it was, we just got another spike down.
Yeah, like the market just went to the downside. So we're spinning it right now on the money side of things. I mean, look, man, we took this trade, thought we did a decent job justifying why we were in this. So now we reap the benefits of the trade, and we'll just wait to see how low can we go. We just got 12s, 47.12 right there. So we're going to take it easy now and wait to see what that story was. I don't know. What's up with that, Adair? Okay, we don't have anything there. Sorry, I thought you said you saw something. All right, we can check out USO. Remember, like right now, the war. Okay, there it is. That's why. So there it goes, man. I was just gonna say, like, we just had the war in Iran there. Is there a fight? What does that mean?
Yeah, there's something here. The Qatar Interior Ministry saying civil defense is dealing with a fire in the Ras Laffan area. USO is spiking higher on this, but we already kind of knew that there was this issue here in the Ras Laffan area. That area is not new. I already reported this at least once. I saw a headline about that. So yeah, again, Qatar Interior Ministry saying their civil defense is dealing with a fire in the Ras Laffan area after an Iranian attack. If there's anything else, I'll let you know.
All right, so thanks, Adair. Yeah, I just was floating through USO charts there, and thanks, Andre, for showing that USO floats and USO, and oil. So both upside right there. Let me just check. Hold on a second. CLJK, right, would be the next one. So that was 100,000 units, 400. Okay, so this is the better one to look at, K right now. So we'll look at the May contract instead of April right there. Yeah, looking good. Nice upside play there as oil goes flat on the day right now. Market bouncing a little bit back now. So wow, take advantage of those spikes that we did. That's for sure. 18, we got our 20 fill like we said we were waiting for. And then we were waiting for 47.05s. I put a 12 bid there once it went to the downside. We didn't hear the story, so I did take some 12s. Still waiting for 47.05er to come. What's up, David? We got a super chat up in there from David.
Throw it up.
Yeah, I'll throw it up if I can find it. I got it. I got it, Andre. I got it. Okay, did Powell announce if he's staying on? Okay, so that will be something from Adair. I don't think it would have been in his.
That wouldn't have been in the first statement.
It would not. It was not in the statement. It would never have been in the statement. And I'm not sure this is even something he'll necessarily address in his prepared statement. I think if anything, if he's asked and he feels like commenting on it, he will. But so far, everything we've heard from this has been through his lawyer. Powell's really not the type to speak out of turn on something like this.
Nah.
Okay, so as David said, they're fun times if that would happen.
Doesn't matter if he does. Like I don't want to be that guy, but.
I think there's some part of it matters. Yeah, I think.
Like maybe a little.
Just for the mentality of the Fed and of President Trump. Like he might.
How much more sway would he have?
Oh, yeah, nothing.
I mean, in the room, it's just kind of a.
Wait a minute, he doesn't stay on as a voting member.
No, he just.
I don't.
No. He's still a governor.
Right, so if he stays on, he would still have a vote? Because I know there's some of the governors.
They rotate the voting.
The governors always have votes. They rotate out the other people.
Oh,
so like the regional Fed presidents, my understanding is those vote, other than New York, so my understanding, again, please correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is the governors always vote, as does the New York Fed president. All the other regional Fed presidents are on a rotating basis.
All right, there you go.
Yeah,
so
if you get one vote, I don't know how much you're going to make it much of a difference, but. Given the way the dot plot already was, I guess it wouldn't take that much, right? Like if we're already leaning into a situation where more than half of the voting members actually think that we're not getting a cut, don't want to cut for this year, then maybe it could slide. It's already 7 out of 12. But for now, the market, even with that spike up in USO, we're still sort of sliding back in. With 10 minutes to go till Powell speaks, just understand, we've seen this action before, where whatever you're doing before 2:30, like after 2:30, it can change. So I want to, if we get into support here on IBIT, I would want to jump out. Also want to jump out of this small capper as well. Like, by the way, this small cap TPET, like this is an oil one. So when I see that spike up in USO, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that it came down in the first place here. But I'm jumping out of Dodge on that. As long as USO is battling back upside, whether it's TPET or maybe BATL or any one of those small cappers, they can start squeeze on you if oil prices get any higher. I'm still offering SoFi if we get that. We'll be able to get IBIT, but I didn't get that SoFi fill after the topping tail. I'll leave. I don't know why I have 2 orders. I'll leave that one in. Try to get picked up on the way back up in the next 10 minutes here for sure. And oh my goodness, yeah, we see Fastly. I know there's other things going on, and Fastly is an absolute rocket ship. Absolute rocket today. This is one of the better looking. Look at the daily on Fastly.
Well, they had that great report, didn't they, or
pretty,
something?
yeah.
They were a rocket ship.
Absolute rocket ship after earnings and making a fresh high. Like, there's always something out there that's super strong. Maybe Micron does something like this today.
I just took another piece out of the Qs here. I don't know
about that.
Look at Tesla. Tesla just falling right back in as well. We got stopped out. It does go up to 58. We got stopped out there at 20s, right where we were in. So kind of glad we didn't hold too much further. But look, it kind of goes right to that top and then stops and drops. So, okay, decent opportunity there. We have 8 minutes now until we see what's going on with Fed Chair Powell. There we go. Hey, Adair, there's our little look there. That's where Sharif and Brendo sit in the morning time. We've got Joe to the left of us and Neil to the right of me, and our whole crew in the back. Yeah, we got some song. There it is. There's right in front of us, right there. You can see Brendan. If you see him there on the left, right there, you see how he's pretending to work right there? You see how he's, there's Ramin going
getting
through
lunch.
The view again right there as well. See, Ramin, the thing about Ramin is she knew we were talking about it, but she still didn't wave. You noticed
Hey,
that.
Ramin.
Right there.
Is that Snickers bar in the fridge yours? Is it yours?
Of course it is.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I'm planting the seed.
She's
Ramin
smart
is
like
the
that.
kindest person when it comes
Why
to
don't you
sharing
start putting some Snickers
candy.
bars in the fridge, man, and then you can share with Ramin.
I don't keep that stuff in the house.
I know.
Man. You know
but
me.
bring it here is what I'm saying.
I try to be very disciplined. Like I try not to buy myself that stuff like that because I will be bad. I know. That's the type of eater I am. So as I mentioned, there was that spike up in. The Gunners.
What's happening?
Did you put the glasses on?
I did not.
So anyways, there was that spike. I'm conditioned. There's certain things that we hear. If I hear a certain prompt, I turn around thinking Randy's behind us. If I hear this, I think you're putting the shades on, which wasn't the case. No, but I was just mentioning with that spike up in oil, I was just going to jump out of this. But first time I took the short, I wanted it from 110 to 1 even. Not this time, not with the spike up that we're seeing in USO. So I'll just take it out at 104, 105 and see if we get the reload on IBIT. This is now into Fed trading. So in the next 7 minutes, we'll sort of I want to focus on this at the volume weighted average price and hopefully getting into some SoFi. We might have, we missed a super chat.
Again? No, what? No, we didn't.
On ELF? You got that?
ELF? No, I didn't see the one on ELF.
Yeah, this is, okay, well, let's throw it up there. Gary retired. Congratulations. Enjoy your retirement. Thoughts on ELF? It has retraced. How does 90 look in the next 3 months? Seems oversold. Wife said it's a bargain.
Same as my wife.
Isn't that interesting? I was going to say that's exactly what you say every single time.
Yeah.
Look, when a chart looks like this, I always zoom it like way out to sort of look at where the levels might be. There is something brewing structurally on the monthly chart, like double top here at like 140, and then in the bottom down all the way at like 60. So it feels like that's the area that maybe you catch a bit of a bid, but it's a broken stock. There's a quote that I'm going to start using more often that Brian Shannon said last night. We say penalty box, but he's like, but it's just like until proven otherwise. Or it's like a fade until it's not. Or it's got to prove, like it needs to prove itself. Like it's just the burden of proof is higher for something like ELF when it's in this kind of a downward trend. Like, allow it to show you something that proves it's putting in this lower high. This monthly candle doesn't, that I see. And when you zoom out far enough, I think, sometimes it makes things a little bit more clear. And the monthly doesn't really show me any kind of a definitive bottom here yet for ELF. Doesn't mean it can't.
Yeah, eyes, lip, face, ELF. All right, so this is Ulta Beauty. So, you know, they miss as well, coming right to the downside there, 660, missing all the way down to 540, and all the way, here we go. So we saw Lululemon got a little underneath there. I still think retail is strong, right? But yeah, some of these cosmetic plays right now just downside, as I don't know why. I mean, our cost of inputs going up, maybe that's probably part of it as well, as you got to, you know, create these products. So potentially cost of inputs going one way. And then, I don't know, different options of buying cosmetics. We saw Macy's upside there yesterday. So
wanted a bull case,
I don't
too.
know. I have to ask for a bull.
People are fearful of the whole like AI disruption thing. If you like, there's certain segments of the economy that are not going to get completely turned upside down. That would be one of them. So you can make that kind of a case that if you like something, particularly that's in a space that isn't getting disrupted, and you're afraid of all that disruption, you want to, I don't know, I don't want to say like risk-proof your portfolio for it, but like add something in, it would make sense along those lines. The chart just doesn't look good. ULTA doesn't look as bad.
No, they don't. Well, ULTA just tanked hard there, but yeah, it doesn't look.
Oh, like right now?
No. That was what I was showing you on the daily there. It was pretty bad, 660 down to 540 in a couple of days. But okay, just to back over to some stocks here. Let's just check out the broader market maybe actually before we get Powell to come through, because in 4 minutes it's prepared statement, then it's Q&A time, and then that's a problem. Not a problem, but that's where the market's going to move based on some of the things that he says and what he's seeing in the future. Someone will probably ask him about that no rate cut, and he'll probably explain it a little bit better than we could right there. MasterCard, Visa, so the financials downside, but Morgan's up. JP Morgan now up as well. Robinhood was down 4% today. It's only down 2%. Coinbase only down 1.6%, as we could take a look at BTC in just a couple seconds. The health technology names have been absolutely crushed. I think it's about time for me to step in and buy some XBI at some point coming soon. Really like the ETF in that space. Also, Eli Lilly, one of my picks, down like, I don't know, 15% since we made that in January. So I think Eli Lilly is something to be looking at. Down 20% or so this year. Eli Lilly may be something to look at. Amazon, I mean, look at the retail side of trade today. We just talked about ELF, right? Eyes, lip, face. And we also talked about Ulta Beauty. Look what today. Amazon down, Walmart down, Home Depot down. So, like, I don't know. If they're not going to cut rates, I could see, you know, that's a little bit of a problem for the retail side of things. You know, more rate cuts hopefully creates better opportunities for all of us on our payment schedules and payment plans with a lower rate cut. I know it doesn't affect credit cards overly, potentially more effect on the mortgage rates, which are already actually trending the right way, mortgage rates right now. Procter, PM, Philip Morris, Altria, Nike. Look at Nike down again. Lulu's the funny one here, up 5% off their report last night. That's about it. We'll look at more of these, but you know, it looks like the safe play, and we said it already. I said the next big trade is going to be NVIDIA. I still do believe in that, but look what's going up today. Micron, RTX, Raytheon, AMD going up, Netflix up almost 1% as well. So, you know, things happening in the tech space, upside, downside there in energy and in healthcare, health technology. What's up, Adair?
Keep an eye here on Powell. He will start speaking very shortly at 2:30 p.m. I will let you know when he started speaking, but I also wanted to share with you this fun little visual that shows how all the voting Fed members voted. So shocking, approximately no one. Fed's Myron did vote in favor of a 25 basis point cut. He was the only dissenting vote at this meeting. All of the 11 other voting Feds decided to hold rates in place. You can find this fun little visual on X at TTV Research if you are so interested. Back to you.
Looks exactly the same in this picture. So yeah, thank you very much. And in 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes now, Powell will hit the podium. It doesn't matter what kind of tie he wears, but it probably does matter.
Statistically speaking, it will be purple.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. He likes his purple. Keep it neutral.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. I think he's gonna get. There should be some questions with regard to that hot PPI number and inflation and the effect of oil prices on inflation. You're gonna want to hear that tone a little bit because, like right now, you had enough leaning to that's leading us away from further cuts. And if there's just more that gets piled on there, that will be interesting. And then look out for any signs, and I'm not saying there will be, but any signs of hikes. Like if there's anything that points in that direction or that gets said that leads in that direction, just, you know, the market's not going to like that too much. And it could get a little bit crazy if we get any of that. And I'm not saying we will, but these are some of the things that you're going to want to listen out for. And of course, Adair will let us know as well. So we'll keep the headlines flowing. We'll go to Adair when there's anything big, and we'll be able to throw those headlines up, or even just tell you guys what's going on. Pop them into the chat. That's what we're all about. Thank you everyone for joining, and not just YouTube, on Twitch. As well, we're everywhere.
TikTok.
We're on TikTok as well. So
Rumble.
For everyone joining in on Rumble, enjoy. We got about 15 seconds to go. He hits the podium. It's not like anything happens exactly at 2:30, but that's when we start seeing those comments come in, and we'll try to react to them. I did want to quickly point out, though, Lululemon, for anybody that, I'm not saying I did, but hey, man, it doesn't matter if your guidance stinks. Lululemon hits the high today, up that 5%, and still looking pretty strong. Not so much with most of the market, but hey, not bad for Lululemon. And it was pretty nasty, that report. The guidance was just misses across the board. Miss on the quarter, miss on the full year guidance as well. So we got Powell now.
He just hit the podium. We just got the good afternoon.
Yep, I just heard him saying economy is expanding. He's talking. We'll get this to you. The policy currently is appropriate. I mean, just talking about things like this right now. So we're going to get more and more of that. Promotes progress to 2 goals. I'm not sure what that's meaning right now. The crude futures right now closed. Right, so at 2:30 right now, that's a futures market closed. So CL, we said we look at the K. It's just a futures market closed at 2:30. But this is currently oil right now, not doing a whole heck of a lot. Adair is going to listen or parse through some of those notes, and then we're going to get that to you ASAP. Consumer spending is resilient. We sort of just talked a little bit about that as well. That's what they're saying right now. But all right, so that's what it is. So far, so good. Not moving much in the markets. Yep.
Yeah, he's just talking a lot about uncertainty here. Inflation still elevated, not much of a change with employment. So he's basically saying things are same old as such. We don't really need to move rates right now. We feel like they're appropriate. Okay,
so, well, we kind of knew that would be the case there today. So I'm interested to hear what he talks about the dot plot there. He's the unemployment rate there. Very little change on the unemployment rate. I'd like to hear if he's any comments about that and what needs to happen to that rate before he makes a decision, or the Fed does, to move forward. That would be an interesting talk so far there. But we'll just continue to. Okay, here comes a little bit of a move down. I'm going to put a bid here at 16. Maybe we get it, maybe we don't. But that's what we're going to do. There it is. Give me that 16. Did we get it? No, not yet. All right, a little bit of a dip down there. So we're going to pay attention. Adair will come up to us with everything, but I'm not really seeing that much right now. We can check out the dollar just quick, and then we'll see. Maybe we'll throw it back and see if you're doing anything. The dollar's not doing anything. So just hovering around. We did get a little bit of a dip there at 2 p.m., right back into the day's low, and the USD right now on the DXY not doing a whole heck of a lot. A little bit of a spike there at 215.
Yeah, the VIX and the TLT all very, very quiet. So you're not seeing any of the normal indicators out there reacting yet to any of those moves. I did pop into SoFi because I actually bounced to the upside. I don't think there's any reason to change course now. If you liked something before, which is shorting some of the pops, and I think staying the course makes some sense. Adair?
Yeah, just as Sean was saying here, I mean, the theme of this really has been in Powell's comments. Things haven't changed. Things are as they were before. So it's not like things are getting worse or markedly better. They're just basically, they're going to react when something changes in one way or another, because nothing has fundamentally changed. They do not see a fundamental reason to cut rates. That is the thesis that's been given to us by Fed Chair Powell.
Okay. I'm just going to tweet this out here, but I'm short, and there goes the market. So we'll just go as we continue to go a little lower here. I just took a 0.09 fill there. I'm still bidding 0.5. This was my ultimate target in the first place. Like, if we just sat on our hands, it looks like we would get this target maybe. So let's continue to go down. We'll see if we can do a little flush action here. Would be surprised if we test. Like, I don't think there's been anything here that we've seen that really means we go lower, but we're right near the lows of the day in the market, so we're pretty happy with being able to hold on to that one. Obviously, if I look back at this Tesla trade, it's not moving too much, but we were short heading into this and got stopped out right when it came out, which is fine. Nice downside play there. We're getting close, man. 07s. This is where I think about like switching it because my bid is at 05, and I'd hate to miss it right there. Okay, forget it. I'm bidding 08s now. Maybe we get it. Oh, we didn't get it. Or did we? No, did we get 08s? No, we didn't. So there he is. Now we get it. Now we would get our 05s as well. But there goes, yeah, let's go. There goes to the downside, man. We're flushing just a little bit right now on the futures. Glad we talked about it. It's going lower, the TQQs.
Talking here about the Middle East conflict, saying it's too soon to know the scope and duration of what's happening there in the Middle East and that conflict. He also said that inflation expectations have risen in the near term, which we know they've generally said things have kind of been held in place. Looks like he does not necessarily feel that way when it comes to inflation expectations. Furthermore, saying that because they had those rate cuts last year, late in the year, I believe there were 2 of them, he's basically saying that has brought the Fed to, quote, a plausible estimate of the neutral rate. So again, implying there's not really going to be much of a need for rate cuts right now unless something fundamentally changes. That's your rate update with Fed Chair Powell, as brought to you by me.
Yeah, you're starting to see some, well, there's already weaknesses in the shorts, but I'm looking at Intel might break its trend to the upside. I still am going to stick with the bid at 40.40. If we get that on IBIT, want to try to get that 1% move. But if you see what's going on, the strongest, I don't know if it's the strongest, but one of the strongest names out there, Intel's trying to press through highs. If we don't hold these lows, and this can break the trend line, it'll just be, it's just a trend line break from 2 o'clock, not from the entire day. I'll flip to look for a quick scalp short. Like in here somewhere, gotta imagine it hasn't broken the trend line yet, but in here, and then play it back into 45.1 as such. But let's see. I mean, again, there's been nothing too crazy. And just no shock, no surprise just yet. And the market's been weak the entire day, so it just feels like we're going back to the same. He definitely hasn't said anything about renovation, so I guess I should have gone to Polymarket. A lot of it's been about Iran so far again.
Powell's taking questions now, and oil's actually pushing higher on comments from Powell. Powell said right before he started taking questions here that he does believe that near-term higher energy prices are going to bring inflation higher. The implication of these higher near-term energy prices, USO popping.
All right, there will be some effects on inflation coming forward here, is what he's saying. As
it's inevitable.
Well. So thanks, Adair, for all of that talk. And we'll just keep on putting up any sort of thing that we see on the news side of it. We'll put it up there, and Adair will keep coming back. We did get the low. I mean, honestly, I don't know if we just had some good ideas here this afternoon or what, but like we said, we would look to see if it does hold near the low of the day. And I didn't see that there would be anything in here that means that this market would completely tank. So we did take out, a decent spot right here near the lows, and we actually get the very low right there of the day at 46.92 on the TQQs. So, we hit that futures trade pretty good. And I know it's not the futures, this is the TQs, it's just the product. But, so far so good. So here's a little bit of a rally back, man. Let's take some out at 25, put another bid down here at 18. We don't know. We don't know where it's going to go. So we'll bid 18s again. We just took some 25s out. My stop is still going to remain the same. You now have VWAP up here sort of helping us. We may or may not reload it. For now, I'm just happy sitting in this trade. I only have about a third left right now. Bidding 18s out, now a third left. So we'll hold on to this. Oil prices, he's still talking about that as well. So he's talking about looking down maybe 5 years or so on oil. I didn't hear exactly what he had mentioned there, but oil just doing, I don't know. He's talking about inflation.
Yeah, he just said that near-term energy prices could be pushing inflation higher. That was generally the gist of what he said here for oil.
Okay, so...
And like you said, with the unknown duration, it's like you can't really project anything with regards. Because like if the conflict ends tomorrow, then there's really not much of a long-term effect. And then if it goes on for months and months. So I think there's nothing too crazy that would be out of expectation. I haven't heard anything that would suggest it would go in the other direction in terms of cases for rate hikes. So nothing yet. But I suspect there might be a question in that regard. At some point. And if you get that, things could get a little bit crazier. If you're watching that move up in USO, because I know I am, this is USO, some of those smaller cap energy names, like Battle, like if this fails VWAP and turns around, because if the only thing popping it on this secondary move is Powell talking, then there might be a retracement. I was at VWAP on this earlier and might go back into that regard, as long as USO tries to go higher. But it's getting close to an inflection point there. For oil prices. SoFi, I mean, it bounced a bit, But, just another lower high got put in, so shorted into that move. And I'm going to tighten it up here in IBIT because we did bounce off the support. Yeah. Tighten it up. I just want to get it out at this low. Like, this is when the market bounced the low, this held the range low here in Bitcoin. And I want to look at that oil trade and potentially, I feel like if Intel turns, it moves way more than anything else. Because this is, I don't know why it's at the high of the day on Intel. It's supposed to be Micron's day, and here Intel up 3.5% decides it wants to run away.
I think it will be Micron.
There was an Intel thing earlier. I didn't even mention it because it didn't move the stock at the time, but I was seeing some kind of report suggesting NVIDIA is saying they don't want to directly compete with Intel. I mean, not that shocking because we know they are, invested in them, but that's basically what they said. Also, I'm just seeing more comments here coming through. Fed Chair Powell saying they will not see a rate cut if they do not see inflation progress. So again, just implying they're not going to cut rates all willy-nilly. That will only happen if there is a change in inflation.
No willy-nilly, huh? There it is right there. Thanks, Other Zinc. Yeah, it says, thanks for not showing Powell, and thank you for having Adair. So you are welcome on that one. So we will not be showing any more live coverage of anything. So, all right, here we go. Nice downside move there on the TQs. Bang, ba-bang, ba-bang, bang, flush. There we go, man. So that was obviously a good one. I've been sitting in this trade ever since those numbers came out, and we talked about where I actually think if we run it back, we've probably done 50 of these, rate cuts, and I think that. I would think so, right? It's 8 a year or so, close to those numbers anyways. But is it 10 a year? I can't remember how many there is a year. But anyways, downside play there for the TQs. I think we do really well on almost all of these there. I wish we sort of had this action every day. And the reason why I think, as day traders, we good opportunity to trade it. Whether or not we do good or not on the opportunity, I don't know. But I remember before we had Apple, we've had these TQQs a bunch of times here. Today was more not lucky, but we were right at VWAP, right when the decision came out. So for me, it was kind of gave me a reason to have it out there. So that faded. And then when it came out there, all we saw was what I thought was negativity there, almost no rate cuts. Coming this year, right? And we'll discuss all that as it goes down, but here it comes to the downside rate now on the TQs. So just getting some more outs right here at 47.05. I'm actually just gonna put another bid here at 7s. There it is. So we'll just take another bid and we'll wait for lower moves here. I wonder if Powell, well, it's not his decision, but I was thinking about, we saw the SEC yesterday make a call about looking into quarterly reports.
Getting rid of it.
And maybe getting rid of those.
I would suspect that would be a question. That's a fair question for him. I don't know.
Is it a fair question for him? I don't know if he's supposed to worry too much about corporate earnings.
But it would be a fair question. I don't think he would care.
I was wondering if he had an opinion on that. So we'll see if there's any sort of talk there. You know what, to me would be interesting if it was you could choose as a company.
I'm ambiguous about it.
I just wonder if you were a company, what would you choose? I don't think Elon.
How big are you? What industry are you in?
Yeah, I think energy and financials probably would want to because they have such huge balance sheets, and they're pretty standardized. But I know Elon doesn't love them, because it's hard to justify. It's 90 days. Yeah. Your business, every 90 days, you got to kind of come and justify it, what's going on. But anyways, I don't know, just a little talk there. I wonder what people in the chat are thinking there, especially if we had every 180 days, you got a report instead of every 90 from a company.
It's already kind of arbitrary.
Yeah, it's pretty, I don't really know the point of every quarter, but some businesses it makes sense. And the thing too is that you want to be aware of the fact that, not that it's lying, but you get sandbagging and all that. If there's only 2 reports, maybe there has to be a little more honesty, maybe.
I think you would get more honesty.
Yeah, in the outlook there. So that would be potentially a reason to do that. I'm getting a crazy headache, and the weather outside I think is fine. So we have breaking news, says Andre.
And it's not Fed related either. KHC, a big spike, as you can see on this. Financial Times reporting that Kraft, Heinz, and Unilever held talks over a food merger to unite ketchup and mayo. Now, as you know, we heard reports a couple days ago, Unilever considering splitting off their food business. KHC has been in certain talks about changing the structure of their business as well. They had a new CEO, which started at the start of this year, so new leadership, relatively new leadership for KHC as well. Let's talk Powell as well. Some comments have come in through Fed's Powell since we've spoken last. He did say that he believes there will be progress in tariff inflation, but it might take more time than they expect. And he also said that it's really, really tough to know the extent to which the energy prices in connection to the situation in the Middle East. It'll be tough to know how long that impact's going to be and how that will actually affect rates. In fact, he most recently said he wants to, quote, emphasize that no one knows the economic effect of the Middle East conflict. It's worth noting most of the questions he has been asked have had to do with that.
I see the note.
I forgot to refill my water.
I see the note in the chat. I do have my water here. I mean, we will go and get another refill right now. I mean, we went to the gym. Everything was fine. I just sitting back down here. Sometimes if it's a low pressure outside, it will, for some reason, affect me. Okay, so...
We're bouncing again. Just every time we bounce off the lows, it's probably a good place to take some there. Ketchup mayo.
Unilever, KHC, they might merge, reported by Financial Times. I guess the idea is that, you got ketchup at KHC. I guess you have mayo at Unilever. Unilever wants to get rid of their business. That's what the headline is there. I guess I think they have Hellmann's is what I'm seeing.
I didn't know. Oh, Hellmann's.
I don't want to get all stereotypical. I'm just not a mayonnaise dude. I don't get it.
Yeah, mayonnaise is so tasty.
Mustard on a sandwich.
Yeah, I like mustard too, man. Like all that, man. Mayo's a staple in our house for sure. But yeah, I know it's not very healthy for you. You can make your own mayo.
Oh, that's way better. If you actually make homemade mayonnaise, that's way better. No, but KHC, yuck, right back in. Yuck, and more yuck. Like, you just bounced $1 to then make fresh lows. Like, I know the market's weak and the shorts are all coming in, but yeah, they got to do something. They absolutely got to do something because this is about to hit a 52-week low, and it doesn't seem like that wants to help it at all. But it's been 15 minutes since Powell's come in. We haven't really done anything. The IBIT came into VWAP, is slowly fading. I feel like I'm just going to leave this trend in, and if it gets the target, great. If it breaks the trend, I'll probably jump out in that regard. And maybe if SoFi doesn't really have an obvious trend line as well. This one's different because, I don't know. First of all, I kind of like the company's response. And I know I was critical this morning. If I was critical of the response from SoFi, it's because I was half hoping Anthony Noto would just go off on X, and he didn't. I wanted to see him come out firing against Muddy Waters, and they came out with the standard, corporate response, which there was nothing wrong with their response at all. But it is underneath that 17.5, which that was the line in the sand for me if it couldn't hold. And I think you give it a few days. I think Muddy Waters got their liquidity event. Great, good for them. They obviously won on their short, so congratulations, Muddy Waters. But as long as we don't make a fresh low, see, we hold this here at 16.8. If we don't make a fresh low on this stock in the next couple of days, then I think you've got yourself a potential entry point there. The only new position was that Intel trend break, which I kind of lost my trend line. We'll go back to Adair in a quick little second at the desk. But yeah, Intel broke this trend, jumped into the short. I want to play it into support, not into VWAP. Adair?
More energy news and energy commentary. We have a report from MER, I guess an agency based in Iran, that there has been an Iranian missile attack on Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. We already heard comments, again, about Riyadh, so not super shocking here. But again, Fed Chair Powell is still talking about this oil impact as well. He's saying that oil companies are going to be wanting to see a consistent rise in oil prices to a degree that they believe is persistent in order to actually see them increase production. Now, he also said that the net of this oil shock, regardless of how long it lasts, will likely be downward pressure on spending and employment, as well as an upward pressure on inflation. Again, the bulk of the questions, as far as I can tell here, with Powell do have to do with inflation, specifically with oil. He also just commented that rates are roughly between restrictive and not. So unclear exactly what he means by that.
Someone in the chat asked if the TQ or the Nasdaq short is still on. Yeah, I'm not bidding anymore till the lows. So I'm not bidding anymore till 90s, and then I think lower. I mean, everything I'm hearing is not like full steam ahead over here. We have to balance risks, he's saying, and just consistent rise in oil prices, he believes, to increase production net of oil shock. We'll still see some downward pressure on spending, downward pressure on employment, upward pressure on inflation. It's been 5 years now of above target inflation. He's just going off a little bit here. So we'll just wait. I mean, I think there's more to come. I mean, the Nasdaq is kind of sleeping right now, right? I mean, this is a sleeping giant. It's down. There's the highs. We keep getting lower, lower, lower. That almost tried to go. That's basically where we're short. And then boom, right back in now to these lows again. So we are starting to make lower lows as well. So lower highs, lower lows. It seems like I don't want to say we're just getting going. I mean, this is going to be my P&L number one today, and we only traded it once. It was right into there. Yeah, we're just going to wait. Maybe more labor market talk. I'm not sure. In the chat, though, I think, what was it, NASA? I forget who it was that was mentioning, just said just buy Circle. Yeah, that would have been a great thing to do. Pretty much any day since their earnings report, you could have bought Circle, that's for sure. 60, the only red mark, it seems like, on OBI right now is Circle, as that goes all the way up, $60 there. This was roughly where their IPO was. I think their IPO was 60, or maybe it was 70. What was that price? Yeah, 69, 68. No, it's whatever this price is right there. 69.50, and then rips all the way to $300. That's it. Yeah, just under $3 there, and then just comes all the way back to the downside, giving you a 50 print at some point there, and then earnings happens, and then everyone starts talking more about USDC and how awesome that is, and now it's straight upside for Circle. So, but here we go, man. We're almost right back down to the day's low again. We said we were going to wait for it, and here it is. So day's low coming in. I'm bidding 90s. Hopefully we get that filled. Then we just go lower, man. I don't even have any bids after that. We'll see how low we can go. I said I thought this trade was still on. So I hope I answered your question. It looks like we're going lower right now.
Yeah, Lyndon Meyer saying look for long in Microsoft at the daily lows. I'm not seeing any reason for a bounce here. Like, there's nothing Powell has said. Sometimes Powell will yo-yo us. We're like, you'll get a comment in there and you get like a little bit of a bounce. We haven't really seen much of any of that. You've just been stick to the course of action. Like, if you liked it before to the short side, you liked it still. I'm not seeing anything. Like, we haven't looked at the metals here. I don't know why I always go to silver before I go to gold. That's just probably, it's a recency bias. But like, you look at the metals here, silver and gold and GLD should be the first thing on the drop down, not the fourth. And that's still breaking lower. There's not much that's looking like there are going to be some bids. And I haven't looked at Microsoft today. And I'm not saying, everyone can sort of, you like what you like. You do what you got to do. But Microsoft chart looks no different from anything else. It's right back at the bottoms. If you want to talk about Microsoft as being oversold and a value in the long term, that's a different conversation to have. Let's go back to Adair, and then we have to address this super chat, Danny.
So we're actually having comments here from Fetcher Powell over what happens if we don't get the confirmation of Warsh before Powell's term ends. According to Fetcher Powell, if there is no confirmation of Kevin Warsh, which is a real possibility given comments made by the Senate, by the time Powell's turns over, he will be serving as chair pro tem until that time when they actually do have a new Fed chair confirmed. He also said at this point he doesn't think that employment is necessarily more at risk than inflation, nor does he think inflation is more at risk than employment. He basically says that these risks are balanced. Now, we know that's been a comment for certain Feds who have argued for being a little bit more hawkish, being a bit more dovish. They think either inflation or employment is more at risk. Fetcher Powell saying that in his view, they're both equally at risk as of this time. He also said he has no intention of leaving the Fed board until they end that DOJ probe. So he's not leaving the Fed board even after his term ends, guys.
That's not leaving.
He's not leaving, so there you go. That's another vote out there that is probably going to make it a little bit bearish for the time being. I said we got the super chat from Dan. Oh, it's Danny Boy's Bear Market Bingo. You've changed your name once again, Bear Market Bingo. At the end of his speaking, Powell should should have read this before potentially, pull a bear out of his pocket and toss it at the crowd while yelling, hint, 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 run for your lives. Look, if he pulls a bear out of his pocket, then that's just a fantastic magic trick.
That would be awesome.
Kudos to him. That ain't no dove, man.
I'm sure that would be nice. I don't know.
That would just be pimp, and it's like just throw it out there. And by the way, Nancy, I'm short the market. Deal with it. No.
And Nancy would be like, yeah, these puts are fine.
Yeah, she'd be like, what are you talking about? I shorted the market way before you.
She'd be like, perfect.
That's how they but right here now we go. We actually accelerated to the downside just so he didn't necessarily say anything. So Intel joined the party of the shorts that are also going in. So even like the strong chip names are starting to head back into the downside. My guess is like Micron. Actually, Micron isn't rolling over any. Yeah, good for Micron. The report after the bell time, almost right after the bell. So Intel, the target's going to be where it broke out from at 45. Like if this gets to VWAP, that'd be a different story. IBIT's a trend trade for now. I'm going to let SoFi go. It just broke the low of the day. We shorted into the low. I'm going to let it go through the low if it can and just sort of slap a bit of a trend line exit on it here from VWAP. I want to do something like this where I sort of work with this trend line at least until like 330 or so when we get closer to the imbalances.
Oh shoot, that's right. It's only 2:53, man. We got so
still
much
early.
time left.
Yeah.
I'm bidding 70s here. I'm just going to change. I'll bid 71s and bid less because here comes the market, man. I mean, this is really, we talk about, books and all that, one good trade. I mean, all I needed today was this trade. We have many other ones, but that was a good one right there. Let's check out some other stocks. Right now, Tesla down to 395.50. That's going lower. Damn, man, we were short that one as well. We've been short everything there today. Alibaba was a long. And look, when we're wrong, we're doing it like this, okay? So we're in and out quickly. There goes Alibaba downside. Everything is absolutely coming in right now. I was going to say crumbling, but coming in right now. Look at NVIDIA. See you later. That was a good out, at least, up near the top there for NVDA at 182.80. That was right off the release as well. But there it comes, man. Zero net job growth in the private sector, something like that I just heard from Powell. There's our 70 fill. Oh, baby. Props up to anybody short over there, man. And all the nice comments in the chat. Neil and I want to thank you for all of those. Oracle, let's have a quick little look at Oracle. Good structure again, nice downside. But look what's happening right here. This is what just came up on my, here. I'll show you right on my scanner there, Oracle right there hitting VWAP right now. So Oracle at VWAP and giving me that little look saying, do you want to take me long here off VWAP or not? I'm going to say pass, Oracle. The market is heading lower and we're short already, so we're not going to take that. But if you're looking for a long, this isn't too bad, man. Now, remember I said like Nasdaq?
At least it's over VWAP.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It's right there at VWAP. And if you want to go long, you have some kind of support. So right there, if you think that the market's going to bounce, I would choose Oracle or so right now. I mean, there's probably other names, but this looks good there. And thank you. Always be thankful. Without instincts, man, you have nothing. So we want to say thank you to all of that. And sometimes you make the right calls, and sometimes you don't. But there it is right there. Thank you. Always be thankful. I'll always be thankful for comments like that as well. And it wasn't even instinct. It was just like we went short there on VWAP. I mean, if you're talking about the Qs trade, if you're just joining now, I was the number came out. It didn't rally the market. So I was like, okay, we're close enough to VWAP. So we took our first fill, our second fill, and then even as it came back up to VWAP, I was like, okay, well, this trade right here is a risk of about 10 cents. We're in the money 77. And we thought that this could have been something that would happen, right? So we take out a bunch there, and then we're just trying to let it fall down. We still have a decent amount left as well. We have about a quarter left on this trade. So just letting it bleed down. Thank you for the kind words there. But at the end of the day, man, all profits are what they are. We'll be back tomorrow. So everything that we make or lose today just gets put right back tomorrow, as I'm a risk-on situation every day. So here we go, man. TQs, just making those lows again into the low of the day. And we're only down 1%. I mean, could get worse. I don't know. No interest rate cuts all year. That's kind of what we're looking at right now. So it's not been a good one. I think you were, I was going to say, I thought you were in SoFi, but now you are.
Oh, no, I'm still in SoFi.
Still going lower.
The only thing that changed was IBIT got to the low of the day. It was either going to break the trend line down or it was going to get to the triple bottom low of the day. And, this morning, whatever, I got out when it didn't break. It didn't break the trend that I should have been observing, and I got out of it. Like I should have been holding it somewhere into here. But this time it got to LOD, and when it did, I want to respect it. The other two still look good. We're going to go to Adair in a quick little second, but I want to point out, with all of this weakness, you got to give respect to SNDK, SanDisk. And Micron's not that bad, but SanDisk has barely pulled back off the highs. And by the way, they are all-time highs. Yeah, someone in the chat mentioned that Andrew Left is still short this. I'm like, really?
Was he ever short SanDisk?
Well, if you are, you would ever, who would short, because the triple top broke. Isn't that your out? I don't know, man. I don't know if he is or isn't, but yeah, it sucks if you are, brother. Let's go to Adair.
Yeah, Fed Chair Powell speaking about this oil supply shock or energy supply shock once again. Now, we know he said a couple times here, unsure how long it's going to last and the extent of it. However, he did say, regardless, that it's a one-time thing. So regardless of the length of the conflict and how long that impacts the change in oil, he does believe the shock itself is only going to happen, the one-time thing. It's not going to be a reverberating incident as of right now. Back to you.
I didn't know either.
I don't know if
I didn't
Andrew
know he
left
was
to
short
that or not. I don't know. Doesn't seem like something that he would be short, but maybe he is. All right, so again, Nasdaq going lower. Let's look at something else. All right, Tesla, we already looked at that. What other stocks you guys want to look at? What about Robinhood right here, 75.50? Actually not doing much. Robinhood's still holding out okay. I feel like it's just the market, and we're in the market, so we're doing fine right now. Obviously, some of those positions as well. Intel, we saw NVIDIA falling down as well, 181 and change. Let's check out Mr. Softy right now. Little soft today on the stock as well, down 2%. Making those lows, watch out, you're about to break as well, down lower on Softy. My number one ironclad sort of, I mean, I just said NVIDIA is about to go on a run. I do believe that. I think they can go on a run more than Google, but remember, some of the competition, let's go, man. The Nasdaq's at the day's low right now, and we still got on, decent spot here. All right, we actually just took some out right now as well. I'll go back to that in a minute, but Google, I do think with the TPUs, this is another possible connection with NVIDIA. So, you know, if NVIDIA goes for a run, some of the competition here is with Google with their TPUs, right? Tensor processing units, yep.
Sorry, we're just getting comments here about a potential rate hike, so I wanted to mention this right away. Fed Chair Powell saying the vast majority of participants are not seeing a hike as a base case, but they never take things off the table. So again, very unlikely we're going to get a rate hike, but he's not going to say never.
Okay, well, thank God.
He could have said no.
I mean, it would be great. I mean, that's probably, I mean, again, and this is why we're short right now, right? There was nothing in this report that led me believe that the long was in. So if the long's not in, it's a short. So we're short the market and watching it bleed down. Man, this is right now, guys, this is $1. It's actually much more than that. If you're trading on the Nasdaq, you're basically short right here, 24,690. It's at 24,520. So you're about 170 handles right now in on the Nasdaq. And we just look at it like this. Right there, short and still getting lower. I'm bidding 50s right now. What I was getting at with Google, you know, if this market bleeds too much more here, and I don't think we had to make a decision today, obviously, I was looking at 280, but I wonder if we just make a little bit of a call at 300 over the next couple of days if we do slip into this spot right there. Maybe we can dip by some Google. I really like that space, obviously, as we go. But yeah, you know what? If that idea of an interest rate cut doesn't send, or sorry, hike doesn't send this market much lower than where we are right now, potentially we're entering the power hour. Did we get that graphic there?
Did it happen?
I don't know. I can never hear it. Potentially a turnaround then, right? If we're getting all this bad news and the market's kind of like hold my beer, maybe it is time to think about a log. So I'm going to start to cover a little bit more. We just take a 68 right there. What's up, Adair?
Yeah, there's some oil news. Happy Power Hour, guys. Associated Press reporting that the U.S. was informed by Israel about a Iran gas field strike plan. Unclear the timing of this, like if this was a past plan or if this is a current plan, but either way here, USO, of course, going to be on watch. Nice bounce for this one after we're around the time of that Fed decision. Now, here's the other thing I want to mention with regards to Powell. We know I mentioned a couple minutes ago here, Fed Chair Powell saying the vast majority of participants aren't expecting a hike as a base case, but they don't take things off the table. But the other element that he added as well to that was apparently there is a possibility the next move might be a hike, and that was discussed. So they're not saying they will hike, they're not saying they won't hike, but they did discuss the possibility that their next move might not be a cut, but rather a hike. Back to you.
Yeah, I mean, talk about things that will enrage a lot of people. I'll leave it at that. But certainly, it's got to be out there with inflation. So a couple of things. I mean, from 230 when Powell hit the podium, SoFi, it got to the low. It's not just today's low, but it was also right at the close. This had support at about 17.20, bounced there, and then did a reversal candle. So I'll jump out of that one as well. So IBIT, let's see what that's doing. It's bouncing off the low of the day again as well. And Intel, which was actually a strong name, that's bouncing in front of its breakout price. So I still have a bid down at 45, but I've tightened the stop to, instead of the prior bar high, just going to give it to the break even. I'll allow this one to get back into break even, and then we'll play it a little bit lower. But so far, it's been pretty standard. I don't know how much I like the longs usually. This has been a weirder one, more weird, I think. Because by now, I feel like we would have seen, usually we've seen like a trend change or two, like legitimately, in an hour of the Fed. Like this is the first time I can remember where it's like, it's like what you first did was valid the entire way, and there wasn't ever, oh, I want to reverse into this or this. I just haven't seen any of that. So I don't know about the long. I don't mind getting out of the shorts, but I'm not seeing any too much of reason to make me love the long here. Maybe it's just not the right names I'm looking at.
No, well, like we're actually seeing things pretty good here. I mean, we just talked about that long down here, and now it's been bumped up a little bit now. So I'm starting to get just a little bit more out. I don't know if it's going to be a long or not. I was just thinking to myself, like, out of all the stories, we're sort of starting to come up now with positive things to talk about rather than negative. So I don't know, because if what we've already heard is not sending it downside. Okay, so quickly here, what's hitting on the trade rate? Let's just have a quick look here. SOXL, okay, so we know about, what's going on with the, here, we can call up SOXL. It's just a little one, isn't it? Is it SOXL? No, it's the other one, SOX S, I think, is the one that's only a couple bucks. But right there, SOXL, SPY, XLK, that's basically the Qs there. That's a technology ETF. Apple moving around. Let's have a quick little look on Apple right now. Yeah, so there's the bounce. So it does look like, hey, man, we might have got it again right there. I don't know, man. We called. I'm going to take another piece off on the market just in case this is a start to move higher right there. So there goes Apple off at 250. Nice little bounce right there as well. Tesla maybe finding a bid here. Oh, man. I wish we would have trusted our little instinct there a little bit more. As we had that from thing, always be thankful, says trust your instincts, and we've been right on that. So that was a good one there. Tesla goes down to 395. Sorry, shouldn't say 295. Scare some people. But yeah, that's a nice move there, back up to the upside. Microsoft, looks like just all the usual suspects right now. Oh yeah, let's check out Alex Karp and Company. What is Palantir doing now as we check out our watch list and our scanner? This scanner brought to you by eSignal, and of course, this is just a trade rate. So you can drop down many different things, percent gainers, quarterly gainers, most volatile, near highs, near lows, above VWAP, below VWAP, whatever you want. I have something on here, it's called trade rate. So that will show you just a stock or stocks that are putting through a lot of trades, right? And it's based on, it's an algorithm, so it's just based on the historical run rate of the trades, right? Otherwise, you'd always see SPY up there and everything like that. Amazon down 2.5%. We saw some weakness in retail today. It looks like Amazon took it on the chin a little bit there as well. Look at this 200 period moving average downside play there into 210. So that's a look there as well. Oh, just so we know, I am stopping out of the Qs at, I just put it in 47.05. So here's the Qs, it's right there. The break of the 50 period moving average, we are out if it does break 47. As it looks like it's coming back up. So another out there at 87. Other than that, like nothing really going too crazy. I don't know what VGI is. We can have a quick little look. Sometimes different names just spike on here for no reason. And yeah, it just looks like a bunch of dark pools, trends, nothing going on there. That looks terrible. Other than that, DVLT, Data Vault, that had some moves. 52-week high of $4, low of 25 cents. DVLT, Meta down to 617 again. Wow, not great for Meta. If anything, we're going to look at, maybe it's a Micron story here, as they're going to report after the close. We could get some movement here near the end of the day there as well. Man, do you guys remember, if you just rewind basically 10 minutes, and I was like, man, I think this might be a good spot to get long now. Good idea, but bad execution because, well, not really, we got out. We have very, very small piece left, 10% left now on this trade, but the Spidey senses were going there, so that was a good one right there. But yeah, Nasdaq and Bitcoin both looks like they're heading lower, 71.3 on Bitcoin. I'm gonna go get some more.
At least actually, at least for now on Bitcoin, the only thing that changed for me is I said we go break even stop on Intel. Of the 3 shorts that got put on, this was the one that was an actual strong stock. So, you can't always expect it to be perfect. And if it ends up being a bit of a top, it's 307. I might want to wait till Powell's off the podium to make the next move. Usually like 320, 330, you think you'll be done. It's actually not an exact science, let's be real. But when that happens, I think look for the next move then. IBIT, it did end up bouncing pretty cleanly off of that low, so you could have gone long there. Fair enough. And the other side of it is just getting out of your trade. And then the third short we had in SoFi, that was another trail out as well. That one could at least be a reload at that 17.5 if it gets there. There is a halter and a small cap removing. That's that GXAI that's going to be opening up now. And $1.50. So this one going a little bit ham, just halted to the upside, but off of the highs. It got to 164. So anyone looking at this, I'm not saying the top is in, but you go into a halt and that's the high. Ooh, sometimes it gets pretty nasty if it can't immediately retake that high after putting in a halt on a small capper. And the term I like to use for these is, this is a habitual line stepper, right? Like, look at the chart. There's a distinct difference. And I'm not saying there's a lot of small cappers that look better than this. They often do this. Look how great it's been if you just bought it at $1. Look how bad it's been if you chased any kind of move. You get the win and you get the you-know-what out of dodge when the stock shows you this. I don't even know what the story is with the catalyst here. It doesn't, to me, sometimes it doesn't matter in terms of the notion of knowing you have to take your profits when you get a chance on a stock like this. But look at the buck. Sometimes they respect that dollar. Adair?
I just looked into the story here in Gaxos, and I remember this now. This is the company that randomly does the press releases whenever they want to. So at 3:02, they did a press release, and they just said that their portfolio company, America First Defense, the name also, doing a lot of heavy lifting here, securing acceptance into Anduril's Lattice program. This was released at 3:07 p.m., so this was clearly not a pre-timed release. And again, this is a company that likes the random press releases to hype themselves up. So be aware that is happening. Also be aware of this market. We get more comments from Fed Chair Powell about, I guess, the nature of inflation and what that means. He said that inflation is not just like a one-time increase. It's about ongoing increases in prices. With that in mind, he does believe that, theoretically speaking, tariffs are just a one-time inflation increase. He also says that it's really unclear how long it'll take for tariffs to pass through the economy. And he has, quote, slightly more confidence that tariff inflation will come down by the middle of 2026, at which point he won't even be Fed chair anymore when you think about it. Back to you.
I think the interesting part of that is, none of the tariff pass-through in the economy has been predictable. Like, if in any sense, I think this probably surprised a lot of economists, if we're being real about it. Like, it's not a political take or anything, but I think they should be surprised. Just going back to looking at some other things, I don't see, and IBIT's looking a little stronger, so reshorting that doesn't necessarily make sense. Silver, maybe not as much off of the low. So that's looking relatively weak here if you're looking at silver. And again, I went to silver before I went to gold. But silver and gold already starting to roll back over after bouncing. So that doesn't look all that strong in a few names. IBIT, it's a better bounce here in IBIT than anything else. I'm looking for something that's at resistance, and the only thing that actually got to that point is SoFi. Like, it came all the way back into where we at least entered again. So if it puts in this topping tail, or just give me, I like topping tail candles if you can get them, or consolidations. If I get something like that, I think popping back into this, at least until 330, could make some sense. But I don't know, he probably has, I hate to guess, but I would be guessing 10, 15 minutes. Maybe no more before he's off of the podium, and sometimes that can cause a bit of a shock.
I'm surprised he's this late. I feel like he's normally off.
I feel like it's never more than 3:30.
Oh, 3:30.
But it can be anywhere between 3 and 3:30
on the average time he's got.
You could ask them anything.
I would have said like now. I would have put like I'm. Yeah, like I wonder.
It's earliest I've seen is probably 3:15. Latest I've seen it is like 3:30.
Okay, so that's
okay. So 3:30. I don't remember it being that close to close, but okay. Okay, so there it is. I was actually an interesting level here, I think, for Micron, right? I mean, up 1% right now, and risky. Obviously, you still have 40 minutes till imbalances, 50 minutes till the bell. But and I always look at stocks like that, right? I mean, it's how long until the imbalances? Because if Micron comes out a huge bid, no matter what the chart looks like, it's going higher. Or if it's an offer at close, then you're going lower. That's just how it works. But there it is, man. First break right now since the number of VWAP. So right there, that's now coming back in just a little bit. Just coming right back into here. This is 465. So I think we're getting a little downside pressure. I don't know. We're still short the market. I think I'm gonna take a piece off another. So we only have 10% left. I'm just gonna take out a couple. I'll take out small, I mean, like what, 1%? Feels stupid to do that. I got to do better with my. Oh no, I don't really. Anyways, I just wish we, had a little bit more shares to take out a little bit more. But that's so is the trade. We get out there on the 50 period, 25 period break, and then look at that, man. This is why we have these. Look at the 50 period moving average. It had nothing to do with up here. That was a VWAP trade. But since then, we kind of wicked to the top there, believe it or not. We got it there again. There it was again, and there it was again. So to the individual or individuals who asked about, shorting the Qs, I think we got a good answer now. You basically want to stay short until we break this 50-period moving average, which is, I'm actually going to keep my offer at 47.05. My bid, to see if it goes through that, because now we just have less and less on it. So to lose 10 cents on a slippage would be fine for me. So if it does wind up breaking that, fine. Why am I hearing the smoke alarm?
How are they still
now
doing this?
again? Like they were doing it early in the morning, and I haven't heard anything since.
It doesn't take all day to do the fire test.
They must be testing another sort of piece there, because they did stop doing it. Okay, Oracle. Oracle is an interesting one. We did talk about it when it was coming into VWAP. So basically, it does hold. But when you see a wick down like that, that's enough to probably punch me out of that. I'm trying to run some studies about when we break VWAP, how much do we normally break them by? Because there's so many examples, and I don't really, maybe I have one on Tesla somewhere. Oh, right into here, it broke. So I was going long, and then it broke a little bit. That was just the low of the day. So we got stopped out, and then it ripped up, and that's where we sort of started the shorting again, which obviously would have been fine. But there are some situations, I don't really have anything today, where we get wicked out at the complete highs or lows. Maybe something on NVIDIA. Yeah, like right here, how about that? Right there, we get taken out. So I'm trying to think, why did we make that decision? I know it was the day's low at that time, and it broke, so it broke twice, so we got out the second time. But that cost me, right? Because then NVIDIA just shoots right back up, and we're able to get the long, but not until the prior bar closes right there. That's where we went in. So, got hit on the way down there for NVIDIA, and only put on a third of the size for all the way back up. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm trying to figure out. But anyways, NVIDIA comes right back in, right? Look at that. When we take a look at that, there's another trade that sometimes you zoom out, and I wasn't even talking about NVIDIA, and then there we go. It just gives us that trade right there. Basically off of 181. That's where we were long the first time, 181.17. It just came back in again. So it could be some potential support zones here for NVIDIA right now as we look at the minute chart here for NVDA. So if you're looking to go long something, potentially right here, right now on NVIDIA. And then interesting to watch out what happens with Micron. So it's bouncing off VWAP right now. So just a couple different ideas.
50 minutes till we get the report from Micron, and they're expecting to blow it out of the water again. Last quarter was impressive, and same thing with SanDisk, and they're expecting it to be another big one. Adair.
Powell, last question.
Oh, last question now? Okay, so there we go. Powell's going to take his last question, so he'll be off the podium, and I guess it'll depend on how long it takes him to answer the question, but then he'll be done. So it's basically 3:15, so almost right on schedule. There. We'll see, but I saw in the chat someone saying they're holding Intel for that 45. Yeah, I moved the stop. That's probably, sometimes moving the stop doesn't make sense, but I will always, if a trend trade goes back into the prior high and bounces there, it's that's, it's made the one stop move. That's when I want to tighten up the stop and not let it get all the way back into losing money. But that is what it is. This one could still head lower, but I think watching Micron makes some sense. I'm still going to have eyeballs on SoFi. IBIT might look a little bit too strong, but if it can hold this high, bless you.
This
is one to watch going into both the end of this Powell press conference and the imbalances and then pre-earnings here for sure. So we'll see. He's still answering that last question.
I just put another bid down here because if he's going to be off the podium very, very shortly, here it comes in, man. It just filled out right there. I know I couldn't. I was putting out the bids, and then I sneezed. I couldn't get the mic there. I apologize.
It happens.
You can see my face, my eyes are feeling much, very heavy here. All right.
Allergies.
46, maybe, but I don't have allergies. That's the thing. So maybe I do now in my old age. Can you get allergies as you get older? Maybe you can. Maybe I need to get a test for that. I've never had allergies.
Usually it's more like when you travel, but I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, well, different atmospheres, I guess. All right, so yeah, right back into the low again. I'm still bidding 50s, so we'll just take smaller by smaller, little by little. Shout out to Oasis, and we'll see if that comes through right now for that trade. Micron, that's another one moving around a little bit. We could check back on Apple. There's lots of stuff. We could go back over to oil, not really hearing anything in our ear about oil. What's the dollar doing right now? Since I'm short the Nasdaq, I, wouldn't mind the dollar getting stronger here. But hold on a second. This is okay. Look, man, I'm definitely not that smart, but there it is right there, right? We're short the Nasdaq, dollar getting stronger. Dollar breaks actually right there. Wow, I didn't even see that. Awesome. breaks that 100, if you're going to go over here, we haven't had a move like this in the futures, in the dollar in a minute. So there it is. Good little level there. This is a 1 hour chart, right back up into 100. I guess we did break it back a couple days ago, early this week, right into there, $100.50. Powell's done, right?
Powell's left the building.
Oh,
I repeat,
Adair,
Powell's left the building.
Oh, it was the
Good.
Podium.
What I wanted to ask you was,
Oh.
we forgot to mention his tie.
Oh, it was.
Oh no, Adair.
I didn't even look at it.
It was purple.
Are-
And it was in fact.
Oh, can you confirm the purple?
I'm rewinding. It's purple.
It was the same. I just confirmed. I just went back to confirm. It is the same color of purple. And for those who don't know, Fed Chair Powell really likes purple. Now, you might be like, Adair, why do you know this? Well, he actually said so himself. And he said he partially likes to wear these purple ties because he believes they're politically neutral, but also because he just really loves the color purple. So,
Okay.
fun facts about Fed Chair Jerome Powell with Adair. And if you want to look at my tie infographic again, I did repost it at 1:45 p.m. on X at TTV Research, and I will update it once his time as a Fed has officially come to an end, and we'll look at all 60 or so meetings of his ties.
Well, you know what? We have something in common, Jerome. I too love the color purple, but oh no, but I just
meant
can't
the
watch.
movie.
I just can't watch that movie. It's a difficult movie to watch. It's not easy. Like that, I'm meant to say, like that is the one movie. No matter how many times I've seen it, that's bringing me to tears, man. That and like Field of Dreams. You can't, especially now that I'm a parent. I cannot watch that final scene. Even you just start playing the final
Field of
scene where he
Dreams.
plays catch with his dad.
Right.
And like I can't. I'm like I can't stop right now. That's like it's like
And
the greatest
baseball's
moment
starting
ever.
up again. Oh my God.
Oh,
God.
yeah. I signed up to coach again this year,
good.
and then they sent me an email and they're like, can you coach again this year? And I'm like, I signed up to coach, which is a bad feeling. That must mean they spammed it to everybody without even checking because they must not have enough bodies, is my guess.
Maybe.
And volunteering, like man, if you volunteer for coaching, it feels like coaching and umpiring. I'm glad that G is doing it.
Yeah.
It's like harder and harder to get people
This
to do
is
for
my,
youth sports.
Maybe. I don't know. Well, I don't know. At High Park, we have opposite problem, believe it or not. It's.
Well, they're adding a girls league.
Oh, good. Yeah, good.
It's 11, so I'll let her play with the boys for one more year, but then next year.
Yeah, Gia plays with the boys. Oh, I just coach the all-girls rep.
She does both.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Gia
Aaron's
plays-
only gonna do one.
Gia plays, so we'll be on the diamond 5 times a week, starting, I think it starts April 13th. So we got an email yesterday. So, but I should have about 3 assistant coaches on both teams, so it should be good to go there. Shout out to the High Park Little League, and one of the best Little League anyways. I don't know of another one around here. There's one in Ancaster, I believe. Anyways, Little League. So we'll see. See if we go to Williamsburg or Williamsport, Pennsylvania,
Williamsport.
for the Little League. Our mixed team made it to the Canadian finals last year, but did not. A team in BC went to represent Canada. And by the way, my bid is about to get filled at 52 right now. Nope. Right now. And then?
No, and then.
No, and then. No, 54s. Okay, I'll come in a minute, but there it goes. The TQs run right down to the bottom. We were sitting there, never got filled, but there it goes. Nice move. And then?
No,
And then? Still no and then? Nope. Okay. Anyways, we'll come through there. I believe and then that's Adam Sandler or Rob Schneider. There's something there. And then.
Oh, it's one of those movies.
Oh no, it's Dude Where's My Car? Isn't it Dude Where's My Car?
Oh, it is Dude Where's My Car.
And it's a Chinese. It's a lady in the Chinese.
Who was the second guy in that movie?
No, isn't it the fast food? And she's like, and then.
Yeah, that's exactly.
They're ordering. Yeah, Dude Where's My Car?
Who's this? It was what's his name? Ashton, whatever the hell.
Ashton Kutcher and another guy. Was it Owen Wilson? I don't know. Anyways.
I can picture his face.
I don't know. Anyways, yeah.
You guys save us in the chat.
That's
you guys
what it
know.
is. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Stifler. I was trying to think of the actor.
Stifler.
I was trying to think of the actor's name. Sean William Scott.
Yeah.
It's so bad that I
heard something about Stifler's mom. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyways. Coolidge over there.
Yeah.
The original, if you guys know what I'm saying. Okay.
We all know.
So, downside play again happening. There's our fill. We didn't get our 52s. I just put it at 58. I'm still going to wait for 52s. We'll see. Screw that. Forget about that. I'm canceling my 52s. You don't want to give it to me? Then you got to give me lower than that. So we're going to go down into the 40s now and wait to see if we get a fill down there. Right now, we took a 58, a little lower as we go. We'll see what's going on right now. Was that a call for Adair? Then let's go.
We have a new stock galloping onto our radars this afternoon. It's John Deere. I don't know if Deere's gallop, but keep an eye here on DE. Washington Examiner reporting that President Trump will be meeting with the CEO of John Deere next week. Now, it's worth noting, he shouts out John Deere and its CEO an awful lot. Basically, anytime he talks about manufacturing. So this isn't like super shocking here. We know that he enjoys and appreciates John Deere and its CEO. But yeah, DE on watch President Trump to meet with said CEO, for whom he does have a lot of affection, next week, according to the Washington Examiner. Back to you.
Yeah, look at the monthly chart of Deere. But we got a super chat from Easy Peasy. I'll get to that in a quick second. You missed yesterday's work, 2%, so 0.2%. We always get from Easy Peasy. We appreciate you. Thank you for the $20 super chat. You spent 15 minutes looking for Stream Monday, then went to TikTok. We appreciate everybody that moved on TikTok. We're still on TikTok, even though we are here. Suggest a streaming page for us to start from, metric ads. That'll always be YouTube, and then our website will always have, the Trader TV Live website will always have the primary. YouTube is a primary, but if anything ever happens, you can always just go there and see all of the places that we're streaming.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We'll build it free, thinking of starting a TTV fans Discord after this. You want to build it? Actually,
I think if you build it, they will come.
Yeah, we were just talking Field of Dreams. Which, by the way, as much as I love that movie, I will make one correction. I actually think it's not the best baseball movie of all time. Nor do I think it is Bull Durham. I've said it, and nor do I think it's Major League, Dara. If you've never, no, and it's not a League of Their Own. If you've never seen Bang the Drum Slowly with Michael Moriarty, and most people probably haven't, and Robert De Niro, that's the best baseball movie ever made. Just when you watch it, you'll know, but it's not a very well-known film. But if you're a fan, you're a fan. So as we get back in low, the only thing that looked like a reload to me, which was it set up the lower high, was SoFi. So I jumped back into that one. I guess it wouldn't have mattered what you got into. Sandlot's pretty good too. I see everybody trying to get my daughter to watch The Sandlot. Showed her the trailer. She's like, meh. I'm like, you think you'll die laughing if you watch it. But then she was like, meh. Looks like Intel's going to get to that 45. So we enter into SoFi. We'll look for that to get to the low of the day, but Intel going to the downside. Pretty much everything is. Let's check back in on a few other things. I know SLV and some of the metals. I've done it again. I looked at silver before gold. Bouncing off the low. So there's not much showing strength. Is Micron showing any strength 30 minutes before earnings? Nope, not so much. SNDK probably. That's even starting to roll over a bit here on SanDisk. Yikes, yikes, and yikes. But it's been a good, productive afternoon. Kind of a meh morning, but the afternoons turned it green, for sure.
Yeah, the afternoon's been huge. Just about an hour ago, 50 minutes ago, we posted that we were short the TQs. That's when the TQs were down 2.12%. We update that right now. Oh, hi, says the bear, right now. 3.38%. So right there, about 1.25% downside since we've last talked about it, and going lower right there. Go follow me at Trader TV Sean there, both on X and on Instagram. I'll put that in the chat and you guys can go give a follow or unfollow, whatever you want, right there into the chat. But we're getting a little lower, man. I told you I wasn't gonna bid 52 no more. And we go lower than that because and then, we said that chicken balls, rice, very good, but we need more. So we're gonna see if we can come down to the downside right now. 46, 45, I'm bidding 41s. We'll see if we can get that into our account right here. A nice little downside play, as it is now officially a Dollar Club member right there. I think that's important. You just mentioned there in the chat. I saw who it was, but I don't remember the name. You said you had your best trade there after reducing size. I mean, I think that's important to mention that because, sometimes if you're trading with less shares, it does give you more of an ability to hold it, right? I mean, the reason why I'm trying to hold more on here with the TQs is, I don't have many shares left. If I had like 1,000 shares on right now or something like that, then I'd be like panicking to cover, right? And we wouldn't have that much left, which is why, and that's exactly pretty much what happens to me every time. And we always look back and say we should have held more. So we're doing better, trying to hold a little bit more. I'm gonna get a bid out here, some more at 48s. Again, we didn't get our 41, so here I am getting antsy again. We get some more out at 48. There's only 20 minutes left. until the imbalances. I don't know if you showed them yet.
I didn't.
Wow, I don't know what
the heck is that?
IAUX.
Whatever it is, it's going on.
We can click on it.
That.
Oh, it's $1.30.
Oh, never mind.
So this is,
this is ETF,
80 Gold Corp. It's called 80 Gold Corp.
I love gold.
Maybe a buyout or something right there. I don't know.
I would know.
Down 18%. No, maybe drill results or something not good. I don't know. Because actually, you know what we didn't look at in the last little while, man? Since on Fed Day, we should be sort of looking at gold. Gold was, so this is just the imbalances. There's GDX. That's a gold miners ETF. So there's GLD down 3% right now. Hi, everybody. This camera. Hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, Target's a little bit of a sale on Target. We were waiting for a little higher. We did get out of some Target in and around here, I believe. Maybe 118, 119. We're waiting for 135 on Target. That's my target. If we can get that as well.
Roblox is a...
Yeah, there's a couple big sells on there. There's Oracle as well. Yeah, Roblox is bigger as a buy, but Oracle with a sell. Now remember, all of these don't matter really right now. They're just giving you an early indication of what's going to happen at 350.
Even BP, that's pretty big. BP's only done 8 million shares on volume. It's a 5 million sell imbalance.
Okay, yeah.
That's legit. So I'm going to throw that one up. Whatever that AIUX thing is, the bid ask is so liquid that it's like there's like 500,000 shares on the bid and 500,000 shares on the ask. It's all relative. It's a dollar stock. It's not the notional value of that's basically nil. It's not nil. It's just it's like $20 million worth of shares. Whereas BP, like you're talking about significantly, it's a $40 symbol here. So it's like 200 million on BP. So I'm going to watch that one. Look for maybe like a flip trade. It's close enough to the high of the day. What I mean by that is it gets a short right now. So it could give you a fade off the high if it happens to get close to it and it stays a short imbalance. But it could also maybe go into VWAP or the low. And at 355, that pairs off. And that 5 million isn't that big. That's another way you play it in the other direction. GDX we'll probably mention as a sell. Roblox, I think that's pretty significant. But it being 330, it does wind things down here. So we got the re-entry into SoFi. If it breaks the low again, you know, it's a weird one because I'm disappointed in the stock price reaction of SoFi today. Because I think what you want to see after a short seller report is a firm rejection of, you know, that all the prices where all the selling happened, right? So that would be everything under in my opinion, under that 17.5 where it fell apart. But at least it's holding on to the morning low. It hasn't made a fresh low from the morning. So technically, this actually does, I know like I'm sitting looking at it from the short side, but it does have that, hey, the support that got made after the news had been disseminated and after it had settled down, that low has held, and that's at about 17.20, and that's still holding. So the day two response to SoFi doesn't look all that good, and I had a failed long in it early. I know the shorts have worked on it, but so far it's not falling all over itself. I think that's a very good sign post a short report, at least temporarily. Tomorrow, I'm going to probably do the same thing. If it's trending above 17.50, I still think it can be a long there. And if it's trending underneath it, you look for the short. That price is still very valid here for SoFi. But it's not all doom and gloom. It could have been a heck of a lot worse for them.
I'm surprised that much it recovered.
Yeah, like look at the trade desk. And I know it's a different, like it wasn't a short seller report here, but look at the difference in price action on the trade desk. Fell apart. Today was well underneath last night's lows, and it hasn't really done much of a bounce. Like that's just much weaker. It could have been worse for SoFi.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy with that bounce. But SoFi, as Gulf Franchise says there, SoFi is a loser, and you are correct. It's been a big loser so far this year. It's been an absolute horrible stock, and looks like a big losing stock. I mean, there is no doubt about that. Yeah, thanks, easy peasy there. TTV, we did lose our stream Monday, so you went to TikTok, so that's awesome, man. We really do appreciate you moving over there and then talking about it here live as well as, yeah, man, the more support, the better, and we always appreciate all of that, so thank you, easy peasy, for your kind words there as well, and for your donations that you're always making. So really, that does mean a lot to us, so thank you.
Have we pulled up Boyle yet?
No, I mean, there's a bunch of different ETFs. We could have a look there. Nasdaq's going back down to the lows right now. Before we pull up any sort of a Boyle thing or anything right now, just real quick, I just wanted to say there is right now a stop, and I put it at 46.75. So that's where this line is right now. So if we, sorry, 80s, I put it at 80s, a break of 80 will be out. So I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. If the TQs does break above 46.80 right now, then I'm going to be out of this one. Otherwise, let's just wait to see where it goes. We're about like 7% left or so. It's not very big. Neil's going to call it boil. I just want to see what Micron's doing.
Only because it's going ham, that's all.
Oh, okay, well then we should look at it. Yeah, Micron does, oh wow, right into those lows again. Right there. Look, I mean, this is the thing. Like sometimes we always say it's not rocket science, and trading's a lot harder than sometimes it looks. But right there, right back in, once, twice, thrice, upside there for Micron.
There's a bull market somewhere. Like, whether if it could be a reverse ETF, but that's kind of like cheating if it is. But Boyle, since 2 o'clock, has only done one thing. The market's only gone down. This has only gone up. It's not like USO here, where USO caught a bid, but there's a big difference between catching a bid and getting back to the volume-weighted average price and catching a bid, breaking out the top, consolidating, breaking out again, and continuing to go absolutely ham. And I get it, this is going to be, the leverage is going to let it move a little bit more, but nat gas, every single strike, and we had some news this morning, of course, probably helping that along. You can see at like 8 o'clock, this was already going to be strong. But that can be in your wheelhouse. We always talk about like USO and some of the individual names, but there's nothing wrong with looking at Boyle and the nat gas futures as well. So about 15 minutes to those imbalances. I don't know why I still have that IAUX stock up. I'm going to put that over to Micron, because I think that's what we should be watching. I believe they're the only notable name today. Oh, Adair's not at her desk. But we just got a super chat, so we'll put it up there. Okay. Thank you for the super chat, but I'm not saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, not sure what happened back in, it's the comment. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I just put it in there.
Back in July 1929 to July 1932. But let's make that 89.42% dip.
Is that how far it was? 89. I think next time we should get a little more exact.
Yeah, they had a name for that.
Yeah, some other
it was not too good.
There, but
yeah, let's not do. No, let's not.
Yeah, we don't want to. I mean, I don't think the market's set up to go down 90%. But
you got other problems.
If it does, then yeah, you'll just you'll see me around. Okay.
Buy a shotgun.
If that winds up happening, I'll shout you out later. Okay,
the bunker,
yeah, we'll figure it out. I'll figure out where to be. Don't worry about it. For right now, that's not going to happen. So
you seen the movie the TV show Paradise on? Is it on Crave or where it is?
I didn't.
It's a pretty good one. But it's like one of those like.
Is it about the market crash? Oh, end of the world.
It's like one of those, where they the government keeps secret and whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, interesting stuff. I'm not one of those kind of guys, but I mean, I love watching those kind of movies. I just don't think the market's going to do anything like that right now. The key thing about the market right now is earnings. Like earnings are really super strong, and as long as they can stay there, and we've just been through earnings season, I could again try to figure out, but I think it was 78 or something percent of companies beat. It might have even been higher than that. So I think as long as that's fine, that's fine. We do have to worry a little bit about the war.
That number was 100% correct, but it was after all of the big Mag 7 ones. I don't know if anything, because there's not a lot of earnings after that, but at the point where we had gotten 70, like 2/3 of the earnings, it was for sure like that 78%. Yeah. So it's been really, really good. It just hasn't mattered as much as you'd like it to.
Yeah, so we'll just hold out hope that everything is going to be okay in the market, and I think as long as earnings are there, we're fine. The banks are much more well capitalized now than they ever have been before with some of those reforms in some of those acts and whatnot. So I think that's okay. We do hear that the consumer getting maybe a little bit weak. That's something for sure. And then all the cost that's going to be associated with however long this. I mean, hopefully it ends soon, but however long this conflict lasts, there's going to be costs associated with that the government's going to have to figure out where to pay for it all. And as we know, the debt keeps on getting higher and higher, but the ceiling keeps getting raised, right? So government not obviously on strike, but I think there's partial shutdown right now, but they always seem to get that figured out. All right, 336. So this is silver right here, down 4%. I mean, if you are worried, and it's just funny that we were just talking about the world coming to an end or whatever, market being down 90%. I don't know. I believe if the market falls that far, gold will also be going to the downside as well. But this is known as a safe haven. So if some of you are a little nervous, obviously this has well outperformed the S&P 500. It did yeoman's work all year as it just kept on going higher and higher until we eventually found that sort of top right at the beginning of February, end of January. We made that move up to 53 or 5,400 an ounce, and now you're back down into 446 on, this is just GLD. I'll have to see what spot gold's at. It's just probably hovering right around 5 grand. Maybe it broke it today, I have to look. But 446, downside breaking through the 50 period moving average. I'm not ready to do anything here yet. I was thinking more around this area here, 420, kind of like this little gap fill back in on GLD, and then even here at 401 or something. I finally got my first.
What price was that?
That was 420, I know, coming through there. I actually bought gold on this little breakout rate down here, or maybe it was even earlier. I thought it was 260 something. Maybe it was right here that we got gold last. Yeah, right around 260. So we were doing pretty good. It was definitely not enough money to, you know, hip hip hooray. We're still in it, but yeah, nice move there as we almost got a double up on that, which is kind of just fluky. They're not into silver. That might be a play as well. But yeah, I like the gold trade, I think, moving forward. I'm going to put another bid here. We only have a couple more seconds until the imbalances. I still was bidding 41s, if you guys remember. I'll put a 45 bid. Maybe we catch that tail to the downside. And then Bitcoin's actually holding out pretty good, I feel like, considering what the Nasdaq's doing, down 1.2%, and just bleeding all afternoon. IBIT stopped and actually had a good bounce.
Got a triple bottom.
Yeah, it's been holding that bounce. Like, we came back up to the 200 period moving average, good enough, then fell back in, but you are holding the bottom. So, you know, Bitcoin bulls, you know, here we have.
It is worth noting though, like that triple bottom in Bitcoin, it is some support from last week.
Yeah.
So like it got to like a support level. So you got to respect. That's the thing about support and resistance. Like momentum, if the buyers step in there once, twice, and thrice, you should respect it. And that's exactly what happened to Bitcoin. It might get back into those lows, but yeah, not looking too bad. What is worth mentioning in crypto, though, as well, is ETH down. It's down more significantly, but if you look at this one on the daily chart, I'm not giving up. We liked the long in this to start the week. I know it doesn't look very good today, but it's still kind of, there's your consolidation on the daily on ETHA, and then still a potential breakout over the 50-period moving average. Like, it formed a pretty solid consolidated bottom. It just hasn't quite sustained the breakout yet. I don't want to give up on that notion. I know it doesn't look good today, and obviously the shorts in Bitcoin were, or anything crypto this afternoon were good. But this still has a chance, Tom Lee, although he probably cares more about his AMD. AMD's just hanging on. This is another stock. AMD, more expensive than NVIDIA. One of them is a value. The other one isn't, based on traditional metrics. And it is just barely hanging on to the 200-period moving average. What do we think happens if AMD loses the 200-period moving average? That could pull back 15, 20%. Don't know what the catalyst is going to be. Because they had a positive story this morning. Actually, it's up 1.6, believe it or not.
Oh, Danny's boy. This guy never stops, does he? Over here. Okay, I'll put the super chat up right now. All right, so this is a funny one. Stop talking so negatively, Sean. Funny, we watch the show so much. Like, the SEAN is the funny part about all this, in my opinion. But all right, so when the Trader TV live stream went out the other day, he got nervous. He went to 85% cash without Adair covering the news. So he needs the market to crash to get back in. Well, you might be wanting to get back in at some point soon. If you went offline with us the other day, the market, I don't know, it's probably around flat to where we were the other day. But yeah, funny story there. We did go offline, and then you know, if that happens again, guys, flood over to TikTok or go over to our YouTube page, and we'll have a note there about where to find us. So Instagram Live, whatever you want up doing, Kick, Rumble. No, Jerome, I'm already short, my guy. We're already bear riding this right into the lows of the day. And there it goes, man. I mean, one trade on this whole time, and it looks like we will end the day at the lows of the day for the Nasdaq. And we still have 20 minutes to go, but we all good, man, in all of this. And yeah, hopefully we get going just a little bit lower. We might as well just hold now till the end of the day. Remember, the imbalances are now 8 minutes away, so that will. Okay, well, that little extension there, we'll put a bid at 34, get that. See, like every time we just bumped out, there we go, we fill that one up as well. That's your face slapper right there, man. Now $1.20, we're in the money about, if you're trading the Nasdaq, you'd be at about 24,680. It's at 24,480, so about 200 handles there to the downside. And I know it's not the Nasdaq, so don't at me for that. We've gotten in trouble from many of you before for talking like that. But yeah, well, I know it's not the Nasdaq. So we're ready to go here and looking for more fun, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, it should be more fun, and I think it'll be more fun after 4 o'clock on those Micron earnings. And maybe Micron's good enough to turn things around. I'm not optimistic about it because of what we were saying before, how it hasn't always mattered how good the report has been. If you're at the all-time high and you're breaking all-time highs, you can be priced to what people call perfection, but it is stronger than the overall market. And on cue, it's almost like we knew it was going to happen. David has his, I don't want to say daily super chat, because sometimes you send us a million ones. David, appreciate you. Oh, it's a dumb Irish overnight trade. Well, hey, we're posted, but we can give a belated happy St. Patrick's Day to you there, right? So your overnight trade, Micron,
yesterday,
$500 calls. I guess that's 1 month expiration from now. If it goes down, we'll drag SNDK, so a bit of a hedge play there. Okay, so obviously that means you're in SNDK, but yeah, Micron. I'm a little skeptical of how big. I don't know what the expected move is on Micron. Adair probably had it for us, but I feel like it's going to not exceed it, whatever it might be. Like last night, literally nothing exceeded the expected moves, and I feel like that's been more of a theme where you're just not seeing the volatility that you would expect on some of those. But we'll double check in a quick little bit. 5 minutes to imbalance. It's still all the same names on the imbalance locator. It's that IAUX. You got BP up there. Still 5 million. That's pretty big for BP. I don't know what SNUB is. I want that to be snub, so it'll be cool. 4 million. Cliff, 2.5 million to sell. CPNG, 2 million to the sell side. Roblox is still a buy, 1.7 million. SMR wasn't there before, I don't think. 1.3 million buy and balance on SMR. Early look buy and balance. It'll be official in 5 minutes if it comes out that way. SMR, hey, only down 2%.
Ooh.
You know what? If you're not breaking the low of the day right now, it's not all bad. And when I say only down 2%, I mean today. SMR has been a dumpster fire. It's holding the line at support here at $12. That's that low back in April of last year.
Hold the line.
Holding the line is all it's doing right now. It's holding steady. If it loses this, if this loses the bid, it could pull a Weeble when it lost $10. You know, like it's a longer.
I don't even want. What is Weeble at right now?
Probably $5.
I think it was 5.
That's I don't know. I'm gonna check.
No, I think you're.
Yeah, 520.
Yeah, I was gonna say we looked. I think we looked last week a little bit there when SoFi was going down, and Robinhood and all these names, man, absolutely crushed. I mean, if you're looking at Webull, like around the 10, 11 mark, it's down 50%. It's something similar. SoFi's high was like 32, 33. It's down to 6,
it's not
17. So you're getting pretty close to that one. I just want to thank.
Cut in half.
I just want to thank everybody who's on X, man. I mean, I just looked over a lot of nice comments today. So thank you so much for that. It does mean a lot. So not only do we get a lot of love here on YouTube, but make sure you go find us on all the social media spots as well. Even Brian Shannon shouted out some trades today because guess what? This is VWAP right here. So Brian he like it a lot. Down to the downside right there. I'm bidding 23s. There's some famous guy that was wearing it a while ago. I can't remember who it was. But we'll bid there and see if we can get that fill. Actually just bounced off of that number. Maybe it's not so lucky of a number. After all, but yeah, I don't know. Is Adair's not there? We can find out the expected move on Micron. There's actually, I think, don't they even have it on?
It's market.
Yeah, it's Market Chameleon.
Oh, it's 10, it's 7.9%, and the previous was 10. And they are the only ones. Like who else is after the market?
Probably
5 below.
5 below. Okay, that's not bad. I think 5 below has a good chance to perform well. We talked about some of the dollar stores there. What is that? FFIV? What is that?
It's
symbol?
just 5.
Oh, 5. FIV.
What's that doing today?
What? $211. What the hell? This stock is that expensive? Okay, 5 below is. All right, not even close. What? I didn't realize a 5 below was this hot.
I clearly haven't looked at this chart in a while.
This was $50 back at. I mean, you talk about some of these other names that are hanging around. You know, Disney's down 24% over the last 5 years. I only saw that stat because of Disney today with their new CEO. But yeah, 5 below, $50 at the April lows. So a year ago, this name was $50. You're at $211 right now. I mean, when we were in Boston, we went to some Five Below. That's a pretty good store. I definitely like it. There we go, man. Yo, what's up, Brendan? There it is, man. $1.30 now, as we do get that magical number 23s back into our blotter there, into our account. So good job there holding on to this if you've done it. We are now 2 minutes away until those imbalances, and I'm down to that lucky 5% mark right now. So I'm just going to adjust my stop, man. We've been following it down the whole way. So right there, 46.60s right now. I'm just going to put that offer in, or sorry, that bid in, and I just do it automatically, 46.61, right? Hands off. Put in the order. It says down here, how much do you want to get out? 100%. It goes by quarters. So I'll just do a hunch, and then we'll push enter, and then we'll get out. So if the market does spike in 2 minutes, we're covered by this order type. So that's what we're doing right now. Thank you, Anko, and everybody else holding on to this short. And it was, for me, it was an easy one. It was just, and we've both been short into this number. So it was just, there was no reason to go long, I didn't see. And Powell didn't give us confidence to do that either. So yeah, that's it for me. What's up with the super chat?
Southern Smoke with the super chat. Look at these dividend plays. UPS at the moment pays $164 per share. 575 shares paid $9.43 on the 5th while it's dipping. J&J gives a good dividend. Pepsi as well. Well, look, don't get me wrong. There's nothing against. I don't have anything against dividend plays. I have a different. It's like a dividend ETF that's part of my RRSP account, which is like a retirement account that I have. And I have some dividend stocks that are okay. Like I think the banks do. Like, in Canada, most of your dividend plays, they're all energy banks. That's all you're going to be holding, mostly. But you don't want to chase yields. That's what you got to be careful about, because if the stock's performing too poorly, I don't care how high the yield is if it's just getting beaten up. And there's only one example. 1 minute till imbalances here. There's one example I want to give. Think about Intel for a second. Like Intel used to be like for a tech company, actually dividend was pretty good. Their best performance in the last few years is when they got rid of the dividend and focused on the turnaround. And then you got price appreciation. In that particular case, it's actually been a good thing for them. And certainly anybody can look at the chart and know that if you've been invested in something, you know that actually ended up being the reverse. They cut that. They didn't get rid of it. They cut it to basically nothing. I feel like 90% or something like that, and it was a good thing. So be careful chasing yield. But yeah, there's always a place for dividend stocks. That's a couple of good ones in there. I don't own any Pepsi anymore. I used to at one point.
Yeah, just 15 seconds. But look at Tesla, man, 393. This thing getting hit right now, right? Like nothing but the downside here for Tesla as it continues to make lows. Okay, here we go. 10 seconds away, and we've sort of sorted this already, so we'll be able to see if we are going to get any sort of a talk here on the market and close imbalance. So you are getting a nice little move right now. Comcast, Sabre rattling, Cisco with a buy. What? I'm just watching. This is Tesla right now. You can see the market doesn't have too much action. I'm not really seeing anything on here that is overly interesting. That's Coupang. I don't really see.
Mara's a sell. Lyft was a sell of 1 million shares. Broadcom's a buy of 1 million shares. Hey, Broadcom being a buy of 1 million shares, I guess, would be something. Rigetti is a sell of 960. I haven't looked at the quantum names in quite some time. You said Oracle already. There's no big names. Like I don't see NVIDIA. Microsoft down here, 700,000 buy for Microsoft. That's very, very small buy action. Amazon, if you scroll down, 600,000 buy for Amazon. So like the Nasdaq overall market might end up being a buy if there's like small buys. Palantir's in here for a sell of 500,000. Nothing big. Lyft kind of stood out. It was 1.6 million to the sell side, but it's already at the lows and not doing much. Lyft is it's an incredibly disappointing stock. Lyft. Give me Uber 10 times out of 10.
Oh, yeah. I like what Uber's doing, man.
Look
I like
at
what
Lyft.
they're doing with Zook.
No, for a second we do that and then we get Uber. There we go. I'm not saying it's the greatest stock, but it's definitely doing a heck of a lot better. And as a matter of fact, it could still be breaking out that 50-period moving average, which once it does this, it's been riding the 50. Once we hold above the 50, I think you got a good spot there for Uber over Lyft. I don't know. I think at the very beginning, I used to be back and forth. I was like everybody else. You just take whichever one was giving you the better deal. I stopped that years ago.
Yeah.
At least 2 or 3 years ago since I've been in the Lyft.
Yeah, no, same way for me. I'm only really pretty much Uber, and then around here, man, Uber's got Uber Eats and all that kind of stuff. So Obviously, some big advantages.
Uber One saved me money
as well. Uber One, yeah, that's only $10 a month or something like that, so you get that subscription service for sure. As we go, I like what Uber's doing. They signed that deal the other day with NVIDIA.
That's the bigger thing, the autonomy.
Yeah, so if they can get some autonomous drivers there, if NVIDIA can make autonomous driving a thing, then yeah, there's going to be millions of Ubers that are autonomous just rolling around out there. So we'll see if that deal is the real deal or not. But Uber right now down 1.5%. Still like the stock, but yeah, getting hit here. And just more covering. Tonight's we're going out for dinner with the family, and my parents are going to be there, so that should be fun. As we just do something. It's March break around here, so yeah, my son's building a computer. My daughter's been at hockey since the morning, and she only goes till 2 today, and then we'll be back. And
where are you going for dinner?
I think we're just going to Italy, I think. Just, yeah, a little Italian spot there.
That'll play.
Yeah,
hi to
so
George.
We'll do that. Yeah, I'll say hi to them.
Always. Your brother going?
No, I don't know. He works. I'm not sure if he's going.
Seen
all right, so.
Just very quickly, I did trail out of, it was a consolidative low on SoFi. I'm rooting for this thing. If we're over 17.5 tomorrow, I think we have a shot that this ends up being a long. As opposed to just being, a short all day. If I didn't have the bias over 1750, I would have been short earlier. But I do have a little bit of a bias, and the stock still does stink, by the way. Like, just so you know, I'm looking for this to be a hold the low after the short report, not like everything is all roses for SoFi. But it hasn't made a fresh low from that short report, which does give it a bit of a chance for a bounce. Good look for them on their covers. I'm going to make a guess they probably made like 30, 40%. Easy. Because they would have been short here. Muddy Waters, maybe not the top. But if I was a betting man, I'd say they were short 24, 25 when it broke down over here in January, February. Because that's when it lost the bid. And they timed their report perfectly at a key significant level for it to break. And good response from SoFi, at least so far. And I do like the fact that it's not making fresh lows. It didn't break yesterday's bottom. That's a good sign, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, we like it. Oh, what I want to check out was Netflix quickly. The FTC saying they're not going to fast track any kind of deal. So it's like more looking at Warner Brothers. Netflix does make the move down into VWAP right now. We're not VWAP trading this thing or anything right here, but Warner Brothers down, so you get a little bit of a spike there as the deal's not getting fast tracked. It's only $27, and I don't know what the 31. So. A couple percentage points there, 20, 30%, not 20%, sorry, 10% of an upside opportunity.
They're saying they're not fast tracking it, but there was a comment from the FTC earlier saying that they didn't expect any regulatory hurdles on this deal. All of the expectations on the close still say September, which is insanity. If they actually close this thing in September, then everyone's missing out on free money. I think the likelihood it closes in September seems pretty low if it's yielding over 10% right now. Like, it's giving you 10% plus, like more than that. It's actually giving you 14% to the deal price. And if it closes in September, that's straight cash. If it gets to 25, I'm buying this in my personal. If it
even if that deal falls through, man, Netflix will probably come in and buy it at that
That's what I'm saying. Like, if it tries to fill the gap or maybe even bounce here, it's worth it buying the personal. I think sometimes when deals do this, sometimes they just get irrational and you get these opportunities. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I think the more disappointing thing, that's right, our Netflix chart isn't split adjusted. Just let me pull that one up really quickly. I think what's more disappointing is the brick wall on Netflix at 100. Great breakout trade on Netflix, but man, did it lose just right there at $100. You get the trend reversal, everything you want, and we couldn't get to 100. Needs to hold this consolidation because I think I like it to get to this weekly chart. 50 period was kind of the look to get up to 109. But so far so good on Netflix. Just needs to get through that $100, and the market's not helping it at all, unfortunately. I feel like if the market was a bit stronger, the Netflix would have broken this 100.
All right, yeah, no, I think I'm just going to cover this right now at 26. We'll end that trade right now. Let's have a quick look at oil. Just need to bid 26. There we go. We're out of it. So that's the end of that trade there. The only trade we had on all afternoon was the TQQ. Of course, we did have Tesla on right before the announcement and got stopped out, and that goes to the downside. Wow, tomorrow's trade today, Tesla coming into some levels, boy, right now. This 390, Let's wait to see what happens there tomorrow. That was rejected right there, upside up to 405. It looks like we're right back into 390 tomorrow morning. So that should be a good little look for us to see what happens to Tesla tomorrow in and around then. Yeah, Micron, let's look at that right into the close. Hovering around, what a surprise, man. On earnings day, we're going to close at VWAP. So nobody wins if you're taking a position today on Micron. It's going to close at VWAP pretty much right there. And then we'll see that earnings play come through in a matter of 5 or so minutes, just after 4 o'clock right now. Yeah, we could do a little quick look at everything here today. Just to review, we want to thank everybody for watching. It was a pretty exciting opportunity to trade there into those closes as the market went down. Not exciting if you're long. Amazon, Costco, Walmart, some of these retail traders downside today. The shorts really printing. Home Depot now, wow, 330 downside, down 3%. I really like Home Depot. I think I want to buy that on any weakness as well. Talk about a dividend payer. Google down 1%, Microsoft down 2%, Meta, Oracle, Palantir down. What is Palantir's price? 152. Okay.
Credit card companies.
Yeah, watching out for that. Yeah, credit card down here. Yeah, not good. Visa and MasterCard getting hit. The price will come up over here, 298. There's Eli Lilly 19s. Yeah, sorry, 916. I thought it was 919.
In the middle of that board.
Tesla. In the middle of this board?
Well, it's producer manufacturing. Nova gets thrown in there, but
where is it?
It's also kind of an energy.
Oh, right in
like dead middle. What's the other name?
This,
I can't.
Caterpillar?
That's too small. No, Caterpillar's down today.
EV Parker or something? I don't know who that is.
Yeah, because Caterpillar and Deere are both down today.
A Deere down little, Caterpillar down little. That's small. All right, so this is just a little look at sort of the broader space here. Consumer non-durables also getting hit as, I don't know, these are normally risk-off names. Wow. The TQs, man, are really going down at their lows. We did a good job there.
Irony of Lululemon.
Yeah, Lulu's still up. It was up 6 or something at one point. What's it at now? 165. Okay. Monster, Nike, Philip Morris, as we said here, Coke, Pepsi, all downside. So, yeah, not a great day, man, broader market-wise. This is definitely not a good day to check your account because I feel like every stock, like there's really been nowhere to hide. S&P 500 also. I mean, how many times do we see realistically, man, the ES and the Nasdaq down the same? So very much a broader market sell-off happening. There goes Micron.
Everywhere. Gold, silver, like they're all down. Everything's down.
So short the Dow, fine, makes sense. I don't know what SRG is.
Yeah, I don't know that. It's probably like an energy play. If you're saying long something, then it's nat gas or it's oil at this point.
That's Crescent Energy, so good job there.
But it's not much of a guess of what else is strong. Nothing else is strong. Fastly, there you go.
You want to go short the Dow Jones? I don't know. Dow Jones 30 over there. 20 seconds left.
Yeah, 20 seconds to go. Looks like somebody doesn't like it on Micron earnings. But
no,
we'll
I was
see.
just looking at that. Wow.
It doesn't always mean something. The first thing people usually think about is like, oh no, somebody knows something. It doesn't always mean that, but it doesn't seem good. As we got the closing bell, it's hump day. It was Fed day, and it's going to be Micron after the bell day as well, as they close on the lows, or at the lows of the afternoon, like pretty much every.
Yeah, the market absolutely tanked. I mean, there was really no bids, man. We got a little bit of a bid right here where we got stopped out a little bit there, but it's a nice downside play for TQQs all afternoon, man. The Fed came out, no change. We saw potentially no rate cuts this year. So that's not going to be good. And then it was, 2 into 27? So not a great movement today for the NASDAQ and many other names, started by Tesla downside, NVIDIA bled down to, did NVIDIA break 180? We didn't even know, almost. So many names at key levels, man. Tesla at that 390, NVIDIA at that 180. And then, you know what, like whether or not someone knew something on Micron or not, I don't know. But that's a nice little downside play there for Micron at the end of the day, down $6. But Micron's still green in a red tape. So, all right, man, guys. Thank you so much for watching.
SNDK 4.6%. So there's a few other things that are strong. It's not just energy.
Micron's out, and there it is. So a little bit of a blast higher there. So whoever was shorting that into the close.
Doesn't always mean something.
Yeah, there's your fail right there as it's going huge upside. Micron. So, I think it was David's Irish trade of the day or whatever was going long on MU, and that might have been the thing right there for you. So it looks like Micron does go upside and potentially continuation on that one.
24 billion revenue versus 13.6 prior quarter.
SNDK just hovering.
Huge. Huge. GAAP net income 13.8 billion or $12 per share. $12 per share EPS, but that revenue almost doubling quarter over quarter, like 80% increase on revenue quarter over quarter there from you. But it's right back to where it was after that little bit of a pop. So you can't overreact to initial moves on these. We've seen it time and time again. It doesn't matter. You go up initially, and then we come back tomorrow morning, and the stock beats up top bottom, and then they're down like 5%.
Yeah, I mean, so right now, just watch out. Now, you are getting a little bit of a bump up there. Remember, the implied move was only 2%. We are flat on the day. Remember, we were down up 0.22. So if you do get that 10% boost, that'll be about $500. Onto 460, give it 10%. You know, you're close enough to that $500 level. So if you want to get an order out, put it out there and see if it gets filled. The thing is, man, put your orders out and make sure you select extended hours if you know that you want to get filled, because with Blue Ocean and whatnot, I don't know if the brokers out there are filling on Blue Ocean, but if they are, you can ask them, because you can get those extended hour bumps. So watch out. All right, man, 4:02. All right, have a good
Enjoy
evening.
dinner.
Yeah, it should be good, man. Just Italian food, so it should be all right there. I know my dad won't be ordering any lasagna or anything like that. He refuses to do anything that's not homemade for the lasagna side of things there. So
that's fair.
Yeah, we'll get on that. All right, thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks to Adair for all the work today, and everybody else. Brendan, Sharif, Joe, Ramin, Andre, Fabian, and Randy, of course. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you to
Luis.
Yeah, I was going to say thank you to Luis as well for him coming through twice today, both on the midday and earlier. And Micron trying to go right back up, man, 472 right now. The high printed 476. Like I said, put your orders out, get it all figured out, and go have yourself some chicken parmesan. I'll see everybody tomorrow. Ciao.
Tasty.